Pod, if you were going to choose one of these to take into yourself,
surely the well. Oh my god, why are you giving me the red wire, the green wire? I guess you'd grab the green one then.
okay,
Maybe not. I don't know.
make your final choice and talk to me.
Hello, everybody, and welcome. I haven't touched mic yet. I need to. Welcome. We're D&D Boyband, a group of friends that all like to play D&D Pretty Boys because apparently it's not fantasy unless everybody's hot. My name is Jamie, and joining me tonight are a group of well, I say brand new. It's been several months now.
Currently in the wrong places. I believe fake Luke requires the camera on.
I am the DM.
Apologies.
I love it when Si's the DM.
Joining me tonight are a group of heroic adventurers. First of all, returning, we have Ben as Mercy.
Live long and prosper, everybody.
Sai as Quan.
Hello.
Clued as Casimir.
Hey, hi, it's me.
Eski as Pod.
Hello, hello.
And still with us, Matt as special guest Atlas.
Hello, Clued being the OBS Mancer tonight.
I am the OBS.
True.
Monster.
Monster.
Well, there is sad news. We're going to cover it.
Yeah, obviously we don't have Erin with us today, and that will probably continue for the foreseeable future, which is really, really sad. But we've had an amazing time playing with her for ages, and much love and all those things. Very much will be missed, and it sucks to not have our little chaos mushroom. But you know, we'll hopefully have her back as like guesting and stuff in the future. And alas, life takes precedence, which I resent life for.
Yeah, Erin has a lot going on. D&D is just a hobby, and we wish her the best. She's not like we've okay, I think if we're done with all the announcements, anything for anyone else, otherwise we can start.
Yes.
So, last session, you guys ventured forth from Reed Home, and because of a series of very good survival rolls and some well-timed gambling, you have made your way almost entirely in about 2 weeks, so about 20 days, to the outskirts of Mountain's Breath. You have stopped. Sorry, along your way, you encountered a natural phenomenon, a tree covered in snow with a lightning storm above it. At which point, some of you interacted with what may or may not have been avatars of certain gods, made certain deals. One of you managed to injure somehow one of those gods, and received a smite in return, but somehow survived. You have now made your way to a small, dilapidated village on the outskirts of Mountain's Breath, upon which you have entered a temple of Tyr. A man, Father Eldran, has greeted you, but the building, seemingly, has rejected Quan. None of the others you've all walked through. So, things to think about for this session. You've made your way here. Casimir seemed on the verge of accepting some kind of deal from Talos. Some of you may have thoughts about that. Mercy, you found out that Casimir, unbeknownst to you, or at least perhaps your reading said that Casimir has a destiny. However, the weave is unpredictable and difficult to read at the moment. However, nonetheless, the appearance, Mercy and I think Quan, possibly, I can't remember which two people saw it, describing a figure that you know, or would be fits the description of Savras talking to Talos about presumably Casimir, probably nags in the back of your mind. Eski, Pod, your revelation about what's your soldier's name?
Mateus.
Soldier.
Mateus, your revelation about
He's
Mateus, your
not
realization that it's a different type of magic. You're still probably pondering it. It's not a facsimile, it's not an animation, it's the real personality and soul or spirit being returned. It worries you. Probably something you might want to speak to your god about. Atlas, fuck Talos. And
Fuck Talos.
as the closer you draw to Mountain's Breath, your anger is also tinged with anxiety and concern. How many of your tribe are still alive? What exactly awaits for you? And what will happen to you once this journey is done? Quan. Your most immediate thought is pain, as you are flung unceremoniously into the back of a tree, and you take 3 points of bludgeoning damage as this temple outright seems to reject you. And all of you hear a bang crack as you see Quan and his in full armor slam into a tree, almost breaking it in half behind you. And I'm going to switch to my mic. D&D Boyband, how do you react?
Mercy would go outside and see what happened.
Esme will look
This
around.
seems to keep
confused.
happening to us for some reason.
It has happened a few times last year. It's Quan, you all right?
And he's like slowly getting up. Was a bit shocked, but I am fine.
Did something happen? Did someone say
I-
something to you?
I didn't see it. I mean, did anyone see somebody? Was it an attack? He's
I
thoroughly confused.
Didn't see anyone. You just tried to get in the temple and were the excuse for a church and were flung away.
Wait, everyone step back. He's probably a vampire. For the undead, denied entry from the dwellings of the living. This is known.
Well, the old man did invite him in. I don't... He has been asked. And I'm allowed in. I mean, I'm not undead, but at least I have enough of a relationship with him such that it seems a bit silly that I can go into the temple and one of Tyr's faithful can't.
Quan, show me your teeth.
They're very pearly. You take special care with
Right.
them. But
I'm
paladin
not a
thing.
vampire. You've seen me walk into many a house. Actually, he stops and thinks. I don't have a
You
habit
walked
of
into
walking
Fort Valor.
people's houses without invitation, but
We've been outside a lot of the time as well.
Have we entered a house together?
Yes, Fort Valor.
That's not a house. That's a full-on fort, right? Like,
We must have entered loads of houses together.
Yeah, the
we got
mansion
an
there, though.
It's
I
a
think we got an
giga
invitation
house.
though.
The tents count as houses?
I'm more preoccupied by how nice your teeth are. It's like the holy light of Tyr shines from them.
Yes, you do have good teeth. How old are you?
Paladinly smiles.
what a yes, you do have good teeth. How old are you?
Through the ravages of time will come for your teeth.
It's
glad you're-
uncommon to see
I'm glad you're
a full set of
forced.
teeth on someone over 16.
No, I can assure you, I'm not quite that young.
To know the importance of oral
So-
hygiene. More to the point.
Has this ever happened before?
Yes, why can't you enter the temple?
You
Are
hear
we
from sorry, yeah, while this is a conversation, you hear from say, "Hurry up! I'm the old man here. Aren't you all ready?"
We are having issues entering the building.
It's like a drop. That sounds like a drop of like metal as he drops whatever he was holding. You see him kind of slowly stumble his way out.
You don't have any warding glyphs on here, do you, or anything?
Sort of pauses, look round, start. Which one of you? Who could not enter?
That would be me.
His eyes kind of certain thing, and there is like a look that Quan's probably not familiar with, which is like sudden extreme distrust and dislike in his face as he looks directly at you and points. Liar. You This temple rejects only those unworthy in Tyr's eyes who have wronged him. You.
Well, I think
Wrong
worthiness is very
Tyr.
subjective. And if Tyr finds Quan unworthy, then that's an opinion I think we could all debate. I think it's very worthy.
But Quan, you're have you broken your paladinly oath to Tyr?
You haven't, have you?
Have you done something to breach one of the tenets of your divine promise or something?
Not accidentally
What
killed
would-
an innocent or anything?
Well, you would all know that I have done that in the last month.
Well, what are the tenets of your oath? And perhaps we can figure out what you've done to displease your god.
Are we quite sure that's the issue? I mean, this. And he looks over at the old man. He seems rather elderly. Perhaps there's been a mistake.
It
Yeah.
wasn't him that threw you out. It was.
But he is trying to tell me that I'm a liar.
I'm telling you the reason this place rejected you.
It's
Oh
a
man,
Are
has
you
this
sure?
ever happened before?
a vague reason, isn't it, though? Unworthiness? Can you be a bit more specific?
Tyr harbors many even I would find distasteful, but those who go against what they claim to be, those who lie, those who break their vows, that is you.
Okay, so you're calling me an oath. This is preposterous. And Quan tries to walk into the temple again.
Yeah, you are. This time it's less aggressive, but you are. There is a physical barrier. You cannot walk forward. Like everyone else is only a couple of meters away from you, in front of you.
Huh.
Well, Father Eldran, you say that the temple rejects liars. I mean, is it the size of the lie or any kind of lie? I believe that many normal
Old man,
villagers
if Quan
have
had,
lives.
converted to Killenvor from Tyr, would he have been rejected from the temple?
Oh, you all follow different gods than Tyr. You are all welcome here.
Would
Oh.
his changing
I got hopeful
faith-
for a moment.
If he changed faith to another god, would that be an issue? Would that be breaking his oath to Tyr?
It is not for me to discern the reason, merely that you, points at Quan, have been judged and found wanting.
Oh, well, fuck his judgment. Let's just talk to Tyr.
When did this judgment happen? Do you think?
Right. When Quan hit his head, is it?
I am not a seer or an oracle. I have no idea. You know this man. You travel with him. Who is he? What do you know of him?
He's the nicest man I've ever met. Frustrating.
Well, by all accounts, he's lost some of his memory. So, and our reasonable trust in him, he has explained as much as he can.
Then
I believe
bear
he
my
will-
warning. His soul is stained.
It can't be
With
that
what?
bad. As the old man can't answer, Casimir is going to walk up behind Quan and probably quite feebly attempt to push him into the barrier to see if he can kind of like shove him
Yeah.
through, being like, it can't be that big a rejection. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Make a strength check.
Yeah. I'm good at them.
Quan, do you allow this to happen?
Do I have to roll a fat ass check to see if he can lift me, or
Well,
No, you can roll it. Is this
High
happening?
armor
Yeah.
check.
it's a 7 minus 5, so 6. You kind of get like lightly
Minus
prodded
5.
from behind.
Oh my.
-5.
Minus
my
one.
God.
Minus one. Words.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I was like, so you're
No, I
a
don't.
fetus.
I don't have a 2.
You have one strength score.
I
A
think
shadow
I'd
is
be- I
going to
think I'd
take
be
out
dead.
Casimir. You did fight shadows in the
We did
second
fight
session,
shadows,
so
yeah. So anyway, he limply attempts to push Quan into the temple, and I assume doesn't even succeed in
Fails.
smooshing him into the barrier.
The thing is, like, if you actually wanted to score low, because if you score high, you would just say you're like crushing Quan and you take damage. Quan, you are slightly more smushed against the barrier than you'd like.
Oh, put your back into it, Quan. I'm trying my best here.
Look, he just like elbows Casimir away. Like I don't think brute forcing this barrier is going to work. But
Juan, why don't you offer a prayer or something? Say some atoning words, or maybe, I don't know, what happens in stories? You rescue a dragon or slay a virgin?
More or less. Or just tell Tyr
did
he's
you just say slay a virgin, or am I fucking tripping?
It's been known to happen.
Isn't that what happens in
I think if you slay a
folktale?
virgin, Tyr would not be so pleased.
Virgin slaying is more ritual casting. That's more of a blood magic sort of affair.
Why on earth would I slay a virgin?
Some gods demand it.
Maybe I have that the wrong way round.
Lara is blushing.
Well, just tell Tyr he's a fucking lunatic and he's got the wrong end of the stick.
Well, how do we know that this barrier is Tyr's doing?
Atropos looks at the old man.
Good point.
This is a sacred place. You'll see. He points to like a really faded out, mossed over sigil of Tyr.
You said yourself, Casimir, this looks nothing like any Tyr temple that you've seen before.
True, it's quite shit. The ones I'm used to are far sight nicer. Any of the first preserves gods tend to have quite beautiful ones. Places of power, majesty, overwhelming wealth.
Spaciousness does not increase sanctity.
Well, that's not what I've heard or seen. Are you sure your temple isn't just malfunctioning? It's a little dusty, isn't it?
Regardless of what you've heard or seen, Casimir, the old man seems genuine in his beliefs. Whether they're founded or not is another question.
And I don't.
Well, then, are we staying outside, or are we?
Well, it's. I mean, I'm happy staying outside. Just curious because there must be some sort of explicit rejection going on, since people worshipping other gods can leave.
Why are we
I
going
told
in the
you
first place again?
before.
I've forgotten the reason.
Just
He was going to offer you shelter and food.
Dinner?
Well,
What?
I mean, we could go get the food and bring it out if you would like.
Father, well, perhaps you could offer some sort of prayer or communion with Tyr. Perhaps they could send some sort of sign or send some sort of vision that could lend clarity to this. the
Somebody
source of
could
this.
make a persuasion check to see whether or not he's willing to help.
Paladin, do it.
Do I want him to help me though?
No,
I
with
don't
him,
know.
yeah, Quan might not want.
I don't think I do.
Yeah, fair.
Okay,
All right, Mercy then.
mercy. Oh, I'm very sorry. Give me 1 second.
No problem.
Oh, it's so nearly a 16. Fuck you, dice.
I've...
Sag.
It's a 5.
It is not up to me to redeem this lost soul. Pray. When was the last time you prayed to our Lord? Exactly. You cannot name it.
He's lost his memories, you arse.
Would that be notable?
Yeah, devout paladins, devout, praying, power from the gods.
I know paladins.
I fucking
Paladins
love
pray a
that
lot.
shit.
See, this is why I
Yeah.
fucking hate
Yeah, but-
Tyr and his
okay.
followers.
We're not
But
role
here's-
playing at all, right? Like, sorry, Quan.
Okay, but here's the thing. He didn't say anything, so you don't know whether he's prayed in private or not.
No, I was asking whether your face was reflective of Quan's face, really. Would Mercy get any sense that Quan feels guilty because he hasn't prayed or whatever?
I don't know. I guess DM, does he need to roll? Because he's trying to keep his emotions under check here.
Yeah, Matthew, make an insight check, and I mean, for a single second, I can turn the camera off, and you can be the DC. You can decide what happens based on the insight roll.
Don't turn the camera off, it'll break for
16?
16. Sai. What does Mercy read on your face?
He looks maybe slightly guilty for like a split second, but the like confusion, anger, and worry is definitely kind of, smothering that. So like if you get any sense of emotion, it's sort of anger at the old man and the situation. So that was just me as a player trying to think, have I actually prayed? Have I remembered to pray during the day? That wasn't like my character hasn't prayed.
I was, looking for obvious guilt face.
All of you. You believe this man.
Of course we
Yeah,
do.
fuck you, old man. Fuck you, actually. Actions speak louder than words, and Quan has been, fighting for what they believe in this entire time. What does it matter even if he has missed a prayer or two? If you're God,
Precisely.
to reject him over that.
I doubt it's for a missed prayer or not.
This is a typical
What?
display of egregious false sanctimony. Exactly what I would expect from one of Tyr's blind zealots. He just like stares at the old man with like green, glowy, evil eyes. Kind
Quan
of steps in front of Quan.
He clearly does not know whether to be offended by the insults that Casimir is throwing at Tyr followers, or weirdly flattered that Casimir and Alice are standing up for him.
I'm sorry, I don't know any of you. But a man has been rejected by the God of Justice and claims to not remember anything. You may all believe him, and that is your right. But I will not. I will trust my God. And he turns on his heels and begins to walk away.
Before he turns away, he's gonna quite
Take
loudly.
divine smite damage.
He's gonna say quite loudly to the man, "I know for certain I'm not an oath breaker."
Turns around to you. Make a persuasion check.
Mm-hmm.
You tell him, honey bun.
Persuasion. That is a 21.
21. Face kind of wrinkles and softens ever so slightly as he kind of looks directly into your eyes. Then I hope you remember what you've done without bringing back the person who did it. And this kindness I see in your eyes remains. And turns back around and starts walking.
Quan, what's he talking about?
I have honestly no idea.
Okay, Quan, now
Yeah,
that
man, what are you
Judge-
talking about?
It says, turns around and says, I'm not sure what made him reject Tyr, and maybe you're all right. Maybe there's more to it, but something in this man's past has caused this rejection. And if he's on the journey to being a better man, then I hope it continues. But memory, not remembering a thing, ignorance, is not blamelessness.
Hmm.
May you find your redemption. It is not I who can offer it to you.
Quan, that's quite possible, right? Because you fought in the war against Abaddon's empire. Perhaps you committed some egregious war crime or something in your previous life.
And do you believe it to be in my nature to commit an egregious war crime?
No. But I've only known you for 5 weeks or so. Perhaps before you lost your memory, you were a different person. It's known to happen.
Well, if I had committed such a horrible crime, surely I would have broken my oath, and I know for sure that I haven't.
That's a good point. Why would Tyr continue to bless you with the gifts of his divine will if you out of his favour? I shall ponder this.
He looks very strained when you say that.
Quick
Well,
as
I think we sleep outside tonight.
Indeed, and quick as I tend to be to leverage accusations, I can't imagine someone who can't talk to a girl without fearing for her marital sanctimony to be a man capable of committing war crimes. So,
Well, actually, you
Lara
two-
looks
you
very
two
confused.
overlap a lot.
What? Casimir, what on earth are you implying?
oh, nothing. Don't worry. Let's find camp. I can always send in a skeleton or two to raid the pantry. If that's allowed and Quan isn't, then I really don't know about Tyr. I guess I sustain everything I've ever said about him, really.
I can't. That must be me from somewhere. It's like everything that happens, Casimir, fuck Tyr. Everything that happens, Atlas, fuck Talos. We just need to find gods you can all hate, and it'll be great.
I
think we
really
should send the skeletons in. See what
no,
happens.
no, Atlas. I really no, Casimir. I don't think that's necessary. Why don't you all take shelter? It doesn't look like the best day, and I can just keep watch outside. There's no reason to turn away from food and a warm fire.
No, I don't want to be anywhere near a Tyr building without at least a good reason to be there. If you're out here, then I will too.
I would feel terrible if you were saying that on my behalf, Casimir. Really, he looks embarrassed.
I'm only here on your behalf. I don't want to be here at all. You've already committed the sin of making me do something I don't want to. I'm muted.
He looks guilty. Like, really guilty.
Guilty.
I don't have high enough insight to read that, I think.
It's like
Casimir,
he's giving you like the sad eyes, man. There's no way you don't see that shit.
Well, at least this way, I'm actually not doing the thing I didn't want to do. I'm just camping another night out in the wilds, which is fine. So, no harm done. Apart from whatever the old man's said to you, which is, I imagine, quite harmful. I don't think you're stained, don't worry.
Quan, it's not your fault that we have to camp outside.
I mean, it's so dilapidated, even if we did sleep inside, it's basically the same thing.
And honestly, I've quite enjoyed our last 20 odd days of sleeping in the mud. You know, it's character building.
Well, to each their own, I suppose. And he looks away very quickly.
Need to work on your lying, Casimir.
What do you mean? That's one of my main talents.
What,
I hate
like
to say,
sleeping in the mud.
Look, the soft bed at the end will be all the sweeter if we earn it. Maybe it's the trying to be nice thing I'm not so good at.
You're fairly
Okay.
see-through. The insincerity in your words is palpable.
Ah, I need to work on that.
Keep trying. You'll get better.
I'll lie better next time, don't worry.
I suppose I
I'll
should
do.
go and try and find some firewood. And he kind of quickly walks off.
Esma's going to lean into Mercy and be like, you don't really think he's committed war crimes, do you? I mean, I can't see it, but...
Well, what my decades of watching mortals has taught me is that anyone's capable of anything.
I suppose Bran had a very high opinion of him. He remembers Quan from his time in the war. So...
I would love to ask Quan. Perhaps he remembers something, or we could smoke some herb or something to trigger a memory. Perhaps you would expect that something as significant as a sin to be excommunicated by one's god to be fairly well printed on one's memory. So perhaps it's on the surface, ready to be uncovered.
Perhaps.
Pods, you're quite you're a devout follower of Kellenvor.
Kellenvor?
Is there any Kellenvor? Yeah. Is there anything that is expressly forbidden, or you think if you did something you would be barred from his places of worship?
I think that if I was to begin raising the dead, he probably wouldn't be very happy.
We could test it.
I think I best not.
What if you were to be under the threat of death and you were to raise the dead?
It's still worse than dying.
Hmm.
Shouldn't do it.
Okay.
No
What if
excuse.
What if you were to raise the dead to defeat someone who was also raising the dead, but worse?
Then you're no better than he is.
What if you just realised that raising the dead was natural and actually quite practical and just sort of did it anyway?
What?
That would be ignoring the teachings of my god, which would be, it's not for me to do.
Maybe he's wrong.
Okay. What if?
Gives a look. He's like,
What if Kellenvor
I don't
asked
think it's
you
that
to raise
simple,
the dead?
Casimir. You can't just say a god is wrong.
I think I just did.
Well, I mean, you can't mean it.
I think I just did.
No, you didn't mean it, and that's
Angry
fine.
storm clouds off
moving
in
on.
the distance.
I know that we seem to have got quite quite scot-free so far from insulting gods, but I don't think we should make it part of our day-to-day. At some point, we're going to piss off someone we really shouldn't have pissed off, and then we're going to regret it.
No. I believe Casimir is speaking in hyperbole due to his overinflated ego stemming from a deep insecurity.
Mercy, you say the most horrible things sometimes.
Casimir, wisdom saving throw for vicious mockery.
I'm sorry. I didn't. I was.
A wisdom
I'm kidding,
saving
honestly.
throw. -1
I'm
is a
kidding.
5.
Right, yeah. Casimir takes a lot of psychic damage from that one.
No.
He maybe does
Okay.
a long to middle distance stare for about 20 seconds, perhaps. And says nothing.
Obviously kidding, but
So we're
So-
camping here, right?
you guys camp on the
Yeah,
outskirts
oh.
of town, presumably. Juan has gone off to get
Cas-
firewood. Sorry, I've interrupted you, Giannis, Matt. Sorry.
Oh no, I was just gonna. You should definitely try sending a skeleton in. I want to see whether it gets flown away.
Yeah. Would Mateus's god be Helm or Tyr?
Helm.
Helm?
Yeah.
I might try send him in. Yeah, do you know what? Wait, no, I don't think he can go. No, he can go. He can go over a mile. Yeah. I'm gonna summon Mateus and tell him to raid the pantry.
An interesting one.
Bring something nice for Quan. His old man's been very rude. You must like Quan. He's a paladin, like you. You can say prayers together and shine your armor.
I'm sure if you let me do anything I want to do, maybe that'd be fine.
You can pray with Quan. You can clean and polish your armor together if you so wish.
Any preferences?
I'd like something citrusy, though I don't imagine they have it in... Do you know what I eat? Meats. I think we eat meats. Just get nice food.
Okay. Mateus makes his way over and takes a step through the part of the barrier, and there is a pure white shimmering. As you see the barrier, all of you for a second, the circle encompassing this made of pure white energy, and you see Mateus is made of the same energy, and he almost seems to coalesce and form part of the barrier and just disappear.
What the fuck?
Odd times. I don't agree because I see this as an absolute win.
Well, I don't. We're not having steak.
Does that normally happen?
No. No, when he's
Wait.
killed, it dissipates. He doesn't become a white beam of whatever the fuck that
Pod
was.
begins to kind of like
Can you summon him?
But again,
Pod begins to kind of like say a kind of a prayer and a kind of jaunty tune, as if like it's like a last rites prayer, but he's happy about it.
just gonna check that I can still summon my necromancy boy again, and you'll see the standard fare of Casimir. This time maybe with more exaggerated motions, kind of pull this kind of green, luminous energy out of himself, and it crystallizes into the form of the paladin again. And it's all fine, there's no weird effects. DM?
No, you summon him, and he kind of flashes back in, and the prison like greenly goes forward, and it's like, send me back.
What just happened?
No.
It's just like I was dead again. Peaceful.
Really? Like you were dead again.
I was free. Send me back.
Maybe you can leave him there.
Release me, please.
Well, fine, run into the barrier. See if I care.
He runs straight in, and the same thing happens.
Casimir, what does...
Can you summon him back?
Oh no, don't summon him back. He asked us to.
Casimir like begins to, and he's like, "No, that does seem a bit cruel, doesn't it?"
Casimir, what does he mean, release him?
No, I'm not really sure.
That usually implies some sort of subjugation or imprisonment.
Here's the thing: I've tried to get rid of him ever since the day I picked him up. He started haunting me, shall we say? I've tried to release him in every creative way I could try, rituals and everything, but he won't leave for good. He doesn't want to be here. I don't want him to be here. He's just sort of stuck.
How have you two made friends?
We got off to a bad start. An irredeemably bad one.
Go on.
No, I'm done. I'm good.
No, I don't think I will.
Like,
Why not?
Because it's not relevant right now. What's relevant is how our fire's coming along and who's doing the hunting and cooking dinner.
You're deflecting. That's strange.
If I tell you it's a very traumatic memory and it causes me great grief, is that a better answer?
Is it the truth?
Partially.
What's the other part?
But it's not relevant.
Okay. I will respect your wishes for now, Casimir.
What I was curious about is that he seemed to merge with the energy that made up the barrier, which means that he and the barrier are of the same design? Or, I don't know.
Well, maybe we can chalk this up to my having the powers of a god.
No, I think we should explore other possibilities.
We can ideate those in our own time, and until then, that's the prevailing theory, and I'd like to stick with that one.
Well, I'll go for a hunt to find some food.
We find Quan also.
If I find Quan, I'll send
Quan finds
him
us.
back if he's lost. But Quan knows his way.
Okay.
Well,
Obviously,
makes
you can
his way
all
back eventually.
yeah, you can all make your various ways to the camp, setting it up. Mercy.
Yeah, I'll go into the temple, assuming I don't get
No, you're fine.
boxing punched out the thing. And I will go up to the altar, or whatever's left of where the altar used to be. And
I'd be
I'll
coming with as well if we're
Okay.
visiting old man.
I'll take part and I'll say, I'm very curious as to why this paladin of Tyr is being rejected from his temple pod. And I have some aptitude with these types of communes.
I'm curious about the nature of this barrier.
Perhaps you'd like to join me in a prayer.
His eyes kind of light up a little bit. He goes, "Oh, yeah, of course."
I will
like a
be
great
leading it,
idea.
and you will not be talking.
His eyes look a little less bright. I understand.
Thank you. I appreciate your patience. And Mercy will take out their vestments, put them on, take out the little, what are they called? Thing with the wavy smoke.
Censer?
Censer. Yeah, they'll take out a censer, the incense sticks from their pack, and all this good stuff. Place it in a little, solid kind of circle, and then just kind of sit cross-legged in front of the altar, opposite Pod, and just kind of silently offer a prayer, and just kind of in a whisper say, "O Tyr, Lord of Justice, please tell us what Quan has done to anger you."
Make a religion check.
Oh man, these rolls suck tonight. 12.
12. The incense burns. Your censer waves back and forth. The old man comes in and starts praying with you. There is silence for a long time. Both of you sit and remunerate. And then the candles and the incense whip out. Both of them immediately. Mercy, there is the taste of blood in your mouth.
Wait, what did you ask here?
I asked Tyr what you'd done.
Oh my, that's so snaky, dude. What the fuck?
Well, just want to try and diagnose it. It can't have been that bad, right?
Can't have been that bad, right?
Can't have been that
Okay.
bad, right?
I stand up and I'm like, oh, I don't think that was a positive thing.
What, did he say something?
And Mercy just opens their mouth and like white liquid is like staining their teeth and on their tongue.
Like, looks like, ah. Is that ectoplasm? What's going on there?
It's blood. It's my blood.
Oh, of course. Yes. Sorry, I'm not used to it being white. I thought you'd been like possessed by a ghost.
It's a clear pod. It's a clear sign. Kwan has taken the life of someone who, in an unjust fashion.
What kind of like his face would be summed up in just mild shock. He's like, oh,
It's probably not the Kwan we know and trust. Not the Kwan who fought against Reza or the one who champions the innocent, but it is the same man. Sadly.
but you know, surely if he repents, then he will be accepted by Tyr.
Quite possible. Quite possible. Anyway, I think I'm done. Bad tastes.
You see, the
Yeah,
man.
Do you
As,
need some
as you kind of
healing, or-
leave, Pod, the old man says, "Wait. He'll be a gracious host, even to those who distrust." And he's got like a bowl full of like steaming stew for you,
Oh, stew, my favorite.
for you to take out for everyone. Whoever.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate your hospitality, and I will be back afterwards because I want to ask about the barrier. I'm curious about the nature of it.
Was
And then Pod begins to kind of like almost ramble about like the nature of undead and like why the barrier does it. And then he kind of stops himself and he's like, I'll take the stew first. Give me, I'll be back. I'll be back. And obviously he leaves with the stew.
How's Kwan been looking outside?
His general demeanor and look on his face as he like potters around camp is what you would imagine someone to look like after just being diagnosed with a terminal illness. Like, he looks very pale. He's clearly deep in thought. He goes from kind of sad to, I suppose, disbelieving. And I mean, Kwan's never really been good at hiding his emotions, so I gather anyone that cares to look would probably see that.
If it's very obvious, Casimir at some point will probably just sort of say to him, I don't like Tyr, Kwan, but if he's your god, then shouldn't you, I don't know how this works, sort of fight for him? It sounds like I'm giving relationship advice here, but I just... If he's upset with you, then is there no way for you to ask why? Demand he answer?
I will, once I've had time to collect my thoughts.
Okay. I mean, not that I want you sworn into him again. He's the worst god, or one of the worst there is, but if he makes you happy and also makes you stronger, then go ahead. Probably mainly the happy one, I suppose, really, if I'm being a good friend about it.
Well, I can only try. don't really know what I should believe. And if he rejects me, he just kind of like, he just sort of stops talking and just looks like he's deep in thought again.
What of, what was his name? Pelor? Maybe... I don't know, maybe you've sort of moved on from Tyr. Maybe he's just not your guy. And if Tyr doesn't want you and Pelor isn't real, then Talos seems pretty keen for new recruits. I mean, he can't have me, but I'm sure he'll take you as second best.
Storm clouds rumble in the distance.
I don't know.
I don't think it's. I don't think it's wise to be talking of swearing my oath to another god when I don't yet know what I've done to deserve this treatment.
I'm just mindful of the fact when we met, you were adamant that your false idol Pelor was the one for you. Tyr has only sort of cropped up because that's what Bran has said, but I don't know. Maybe you're not hallucinating an entire deity.
You know nothing of Pelor.
No, I
And
know.
he looks like he does not want to have this conversation with someone that is just like talking shit about gods left, right, and center.
Well, whatever makes you happy, like I said. Kind of, yeah, so just lean back and drop it, and occasionally cast a look over to Quan, still mooching about, I imagine. And just reflect on how he's really, really, truly awful at making everyone feel better about anything.
Yeah, he definitely looks worse after that conversation.
Yeah. Juan, could you, while you're working around, just make a charisma check for me?
Charisma?
Yeah.
What, like a straight charisma check?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'll probably come back into camp at this point with something slung over my shoulder.
Oh,
for
another
dinner.
21. What are the odds?
Okay. Nothing happens. You're all good.
What do you mean?
What do you mean nothing happens?
Nothing happens. Please continue as you were.
Oh my god.
Casimir, not Casimir. Quan, how are you at filleting deer?
Possible, I suppose. And he walks over to give Atlas a hand.
Yeah. While my name's mixed up. While Quan's helping me, I just want to be like, listen, I overheard a little bit as I was approaching the camp, and it doesn't matter what you believe in, as long as you can find a way to believe in yourself. Anything beyond that is unnecessary. And if you have friends that believe in you, you can believe in them as well. But what happened here is not a reflection on your character. It's not a reflection on who you are today and what you've been doing. You know, actions speak louder than words, and from all I've seen, you only have good actions. Any god to reject you from that is a fool.
Juan doesn't react to that how you think he would. I think generally from your, I guess, limited experience with the group, you would expect him to be very enthusiastic about kind of, I guess, this sort of enthusiastic pep talk that you're giving him. But instead, he turns to look at you and says, while I appreciate that you're trying to make me feel better, Atlas, I really do. I'm a paladin. Of course it matters. Of course everything matters. In fact, if I don't have God, what do I have? And he goes back to working on the deer.
How audible is that?
I'd say they're talking normally. I mean,
Fairly.
I suppose.
Because he probably just shoots a really shady message to Atlas along the lines of, I think that's what they call an abusive relationship, you know, Atlas.
Well,
You're gonna
Quan,
get
you-
smoked so fucking hard, dude.
Quan, you need to decide what's important to you, and if that's what is important to you, then I will not question it.
He kind of gives Atlas a smile and says, well, perhaps you would know better than I do what it is I want or I've done.
I have no idea. I know barely what I want and barely why I'm here.
Well, that makes the two of us.
Continue in silence with Quan to skin and prepare the deer for dinner, I guess.
At this point, Pod and Mercy probably return, pouring a large bowl of stew that meatless, but has been prepared by the man from Father Eldran.
Yeah. Atropos kind of walks purposefully out the temple towards Quan, and he's like, "Oh, Quan. Well, I hope this isn't going to add to your dour mood. I can see that you're already having a hard time, but sometimes it's best to know these things so we can start healing. You have done something terrible in your past. Tyr is indeed angry with you, and it's probably related to killing someone who didn't deserve to be killed."
Oh my god.
Well, he probably did. Who decides who deserves to be killed?
Tyr,
If
in
you've
this
all
case.
had quite enough of making speculations of my life, I would appreciate it if we could just have dinner without talking about this for 5 minutes. Thank you.
Good. You got it.
Yes, Quan's been through enough.
I can't believe I've just been told off by a paladin. Wow.
I can't imagine it's the first time.
No, it really isn't. Just thought I was past that.
Were you told off by paladins a lot,
Oh,
Casimir?
frequently. Absolutely. All the time, actually. I deserved it most of the time.
You were a criminal?
Oh, yes. Stole rampantly, kicked people's shins, and told them to look the other way, and grabbed things off them.
No, that's not very nice. You shouldn't do that.
But naming newspapers in bins. Bit of a terror, actually.
Well,
I know for a fact you were raised better than that.
I was, actually. My parents were very good to me.
you were lucky then.
Well, think about what they think about that.
I try not to.
Anyway, would everyone like some stew?
Yes, please.
Any good?
Yeah, we're just preparing some meat. Once it's cooked, so I'll chuck it in.
So, you all sit in what I might presume is semi-awkward silence. If anybody attempts to broach a topic or conversation.
I'm reading, mate.
Oh yeah. I'm mining Casimir for information about his younger life.
What are you asking him?
I'm probably like, oh, so you had a rambunctious upbringing and you got into trouble frequently. Were you in trouble with your brothers, sisters,
I didn't have siblings.
friends?
I was never really in trouble with my friend, no. Not at all, actually.
Your friend's not that strange ghost, is it?
Matthias is very far from my friend, no. I'm in trouble with my friend now, if that helps or answers any fun questions you might have.
Why are you in trouble with your friend?
Well, I've been quite careless with the whole claiming to be him in signing up on this mission. It was a bit ballless. I think I just wanted to know what it was like, really, to be him.
Right. Either Montague. Right. So this is your friend, and you grew up in
Varsala, yeah.
Varsala, and you were frequently beaten by paladins, or ran from the paladins.
Bit of column A, a bit of column B.
So not particularly devout yourself, then.
Anything or everything but. Varsala's the second preserve doesn't have a god, a prime deity. It's the lost plane, the missing god. So
It does.
rather than have a deity of its own or a pantheon, it tends to draw in worshippers from the others, the neighbours being first Arth, Yamat's preserve, and also the ecclesiarchy. There's a particular influx of Helm and Tyr, etc. worshippers. There's no shortage of paladins in Sacramar.
The punishment for theft in Paragonia is to have your thumbs removed.
Is it? I imagine it was much the same back home. And I imagine I would have had my thumbs removed on several accounts if I didn't have my one friend. I got very good at running and hiding and sleeping in his cupboard or under his bed or, you know.
So you eventually committed a crime too big to be forgiven for, and hence why you're a fugitive.
Funnily enough, no. No, well, yes, but they hadn't thought about that one for almost a decade. No, at the end, it was nothing I'd done at all. I'm not really sure why it all happened, to be honest. I could guess. But I don't really know. But if you go to Sacramar, you will probably see my face on every single street corner. I've gotten quite a good artist to do a likeness of me. Doesn't do me justice quite exactly as I am in the flesh, but it's not bad, it's close.
Painting's not nearly as covered in mud as you currently are, I bet.
Am I? He pats himself down with prestidigitation as though you've not seen him look so motivated in the last few hours. I'm actually on the subject of that friend of mine being angry. If anyone ever really found out that he was ever harbouring me or friends with me, it would be a problem for him, a very big problem. And the trouble is Malik seems to know. And that could be quite severe consequence for him and for me, but I'm more concerned about my friend, to be honest. And I was rather pondering if maybe I don't know, I went through several stages. I thought I could bargain with Malik and tell him I'll join his team or something of the sort.
Well, perhaps we could help you, Quan, if we knew more. Quan? Casimir, sorry. If we knew more.
Oh, don't worry, he and I are so alike. I'm sure people get us mixed up all the time.
I was still a taste of blood. Strange. Never mind.
Yes, I'm not sure how to approach Malik. All I can think of is kill him, but...
Well,
we could do that.
What?
Alara, can we kill
Sorry,
Malik? You're muted, Jamie.
You're still muted.
As admittedly satisfying as I'm sure many of you would find that, no. He's still an ally until he proves otherwise.
He did try to blow up a town.
He did.
Just let
Yes, I'm curious, Alara, where your ethical boundaries lie. At what point does the crime become so horrible that you consider Malik no longer an ally? Abduction,
been,
attempted murder, theft.
I have been struggling with this, but we are both leading towards the same goal, and I'm honestly not sure. And I think that's the way of the world often. People aren't wholly good or wholly bad. Malik is ruthless and cruel. But I'm sure that he is seen by some as a reliable ally, and I don't think that our wanton murder of him or revenge would receive anything. The best we can do is finish this competition, and then I can prepare a full report for my father and the Accreditors Federation, and they can know exactly what type of person Malik is, and they can judge his actions for themselves. It is not for us to do vigilantism.
Well, I'm curious about your opinion. Say that you weren't in a competition to kill a bandit, to which is going to destroy the world. Say that you were just in a race, or you were hearing about what Malik had done in a court, or from a friend in gossip. What would you think of his actions then?
I think they're abhorrent and wrong.
Should they be punished?
It's difficult to disseminate his actions from his objective. You're asking me to divorce the purpose of them from the reason.
I am. I'm asking whether you think actions can be wrong of themselves.
No, I don't.
Interesting.
I think the reasons why you do something inevitably play into the morality of that decision.
So, if my reason for killing Malik is protecting my dear friend Monty from anything that may befall him, it's fine?
I think that's what she's
If-
saying.
If you can demonstrate clear and reasonable and imminent harm,
Probably.
then of course
What's
it's justified.
reasonable?
Self-defense. Well, that's where the thin line is. That's what separates morality from murder. And these are the questions that philosophers grapple with. I've been to many studies of religion, philosophy, academia, debated hotly. Reasonableness. It's the eye of the beholder.
All very theoretical, isn't it? But at some point you do have to do something. Rather than just talk about it.
Yes, and that comes into it too. The emotion, the rapidity of the decision. Can somebody who isn't faced in that decision be truly judged by somebody who can't? Who isn't? How much can a layperson judge a soldier at war? It's impossible.
Do you consider Malik a soldier at war?
What else is this? We are
Camping
fighting
trip.
for our lives. What did you call the attack on Reedholm?
Tuesday.
I mean, we
Whatever-
could
what
use
is Tuesday?
Whatever
It
Tuesday.
was more of a battle. than it
I'm
was a
sorry,
war.
I don't know your dates' names.
Peace Day. It's Tuesday, actually.
Tuesday. Ironically named.
No, it is important that you can. The reason here is the God of justice and not us or individuals. It's important to understand the mindset, facts going into something. That does not mean that I have any displeasure, less displeasure for an act that might be judged to be reasonable or just. I don't kid myself that I know everything, and I hope none of you do either.
Well. You know, Lara, I think
Jasmine.
you're a terrible team leader, but I think you might not actually be a bad ruler of the Stormlands.
I think we're doing rather well, actually. I don't know what you mean.
We have done quite well, yes. And I
Speaking of
can
doing
give-
well.
Plenty of credit of that to you, Alara.
Thank you.
Sorry, Atlas, I just had to put that
Oh,
one in.
Right. Alara, you truly are the glue that holds us all together.
Leadership is more than just bossing people around and knowing things.
No, you lead from the front. I just want to very quickly cast Locate Object on the token that I slipped into Naliska, just to see if they're within.
No, not within 1,000.
Okay, alright, cool. Oh, okay, that's fine. Sorry.
Okay.
Please go on.
And whatever that man said today addresses Quan. The nature of the thing is different than its form, and I believe we all know your nature, Quan.
Thank you, Alara.
Well, an interesting moral quandary, Lara. You have placed the decision of justice with the god of justice, Tyr, who has decided that Quan is well, unfortunately, has done reprehensible actions. So, do you agree with that? How do you reconcile those two opinions? If Tyr is justice after all.
I believe that Tyr clearly has his reasons, and it is up for us to uncover and understand them. And if needed, for Quan, as he is now, to reconcile with those facts.
So you do believe that Quan has done something worthy of being bounced off a temple?
I believe that Tyr believes so.
Ah, an intellectual distinction. So you don't believe it?
I struggle to believe that the man. I struggle to believe that the man before me has done anything that could bring about that retribution. But, and I mean this in the kindest way, Quan, we've only known you for 60 days, and you haven't known yourself for longer.
He doesn't look super happy that Laura is bringing this up, but he kind of nods. I mean, everyone knows it.
Can you really judge someone by a person they no longer are? Like, don't even remember, they have no association with. Is the Quan of today and the Quan that did whatever Tyr judges bad different people?
I personally would not. But you understood why people could. Somebody murders your entire family. They wake up the next morning not remembering the act, who they are, where they are. It doesn't sate your anger. It doesn't bring them back.
Yes. Is he Quan because he's done what he's done? Or has he done what he's done because he's Quan?
Very interesting.
The Lara fully takes that like.
He's just Quan.
It's just Quan. It's just a little.
May I remind you that you are
Always bet
again
on Quan.
assuming that I've done something you consider to be morally.
Actually, we are technically inferring that Tyr is assuming that you have done something morally reprehensible.
Well, I'm sure Tyr knows what I've done.
I think Tyr's full of shit.
But the implication seems to be that he's not a fan of it, whatever it may be.
Gods can be wrong. They can, of course. They
Yeah,
can
they can be wrong.
Sometimes
they can be wrong. Yeah.
It's
Some gods can be wrong. Yeah.
They're not omniscient. They're not omnipotent.
Well, some are omniscient, but not all of them. Yeah.
Yeah. None of them know everything.
I'd say Severus probably knows what's going on sometimes, most of the time.
Unless there are
Kind of his job.
aberrants, in which case Severus clearly doesn't know what's going on.
No, you're right, Casimir. Aberrants are... Well, I'm not entirely sure what the nature of them in this context the weave is, but they are either outside or not part of the same fabric of it, or... They don't follow the same patterns.
Hmm. Well, whatever it is, it'll all be forgotten when in a few days' time we've killed Razor and we're celebrating our grand victory.
Oh, could you make a Christmas saving throw for me?
Another one.
Yeah.
What's he saving from, huh?
That's a 13.
13. Okay. You're fine.
Okay.
Oh, I hate it.
Is this say you're fine, as in it's not fine, or is it a...
No, it's fine.
It's
Quan
fine.
feels nothing. You
That
feel a
doesn't
little
sound like
nauseous,
he's
maybe.
fine. If he feels nothing, then he...
I'm definitely not fine. Actually, that's not very sensitive of you.
On the everything else that has happened, you also feel a little nauseous. So, the evening winding down. With everything I said at the start of the session rolling around in your minds. Does anyone want to talk about anything else, or are you proceeding to the next morning?
Quickly with Casimir. I was just be like, I gotta say, Casimir, you're pretty quickly to judge people for worshipping Helm and Tyr, but when Talos presented himself to you, you jumped at the opportunity to serve. I'm just trying to put those two together.
That's not because I believe in his ideals. It's because I need power. If power is there, I will take the power. To be honest, if Tyr came down and said, Casimir, take this cool sword, it will help you smite the High Praetor of Sakma, I would take it. I'd probably even offer him a prayer.
What if Kellenvor offered you the power of the soul to not raise the dead?
If it made me more powerful,
Power
I'd do
of...
it.
It makes your soul powerful.
If that will palpably help me commit my regicide, then yes.
I don't necessarily know if it would help commit regicide.
I
Why
don't
do you
summon
want to kill the High Praetor?
because he deserves it. Not to rehash our conversation earlier about morals and judgment, but he does deserve it. And look, I don't summon the dead because I love skeletons and rotting things or anything macabre like that. I do it because it's what I have. It's a tool that is in my arsenal. I use it to the fullest extent of its capacity.
I'm just concerned about Talos's hold over you. I mean, at your fullest potential, do you think you'd be able to outwit him, undeceive him?
Why? Are you worried he'll make me do something I don't want to do?
Absolutely, he will.
Look, if I entered in a pact with Talos and he wanted to make me do something evil because he's an evil god of storms, and I tried to resist him. God, but I'm sure my full potential, he might give me a little trouble.
But would you win? But would you
Yes.
lose?
No, I'd win.
You leave. Get out. You were banned. You were
No.
absolutely banned.
The point is, I don't think you could make me do anything I don't want to.
Casimir's right.
I love how often you've said that today, Mercy.
It's part of the weave. The Prime cannot influence mortals without a mortal's recognition or agreement. strict prohibition on this. It's why Talos has not smote Atlas into 1,000 pieces of dust.
He tried yesterday.
Because you attacked him.
Why not? I will say this in the least offensive way possible, which is a terrible way to start at any sort of conversation, but I guess it's all I can say.
Wait, what's happening here? Like, are you coming over to me? Are we still having dinner? I thought we were going to.
Yeah, I
bed.
thought I was still there.
Okay.
General dinner
Alright.
chats.
Okay.
I thought we were having dinner chats. My bad. Why have you gone to bed?
Yeah, we are.
Last of the dinner chats?
Lasted
Last
the
of the
dinner
dinner
Okay.
chats. Yeah, I guess he would ask me like, I've never seen you actively call upon your god in combat or even to like do very much, to be honest. I thought that was something paladins did, semi often.
There is a very awkward silence.
Good stew.
Great, Stu. Great. I'll make sure to send some, compliments back to the old man. And it sits there in a little bit more silence, just like staring. Speaking of which,
I
I
think
was
it-
going to
I-
talk
I-
to him anyway. So
At that question, I don't know. At that question, all of you probably get slightly brought back to the unfair and easily irrational, but maybe ringing slightly more of truth than we've heard. The accusations from Brom and the discussions about Grudel and the last fight.
Well, look, not all. Some paladins focus on swordplay more than their magical capacity. They're not priests, but they're.
You're right.
I mean,
You are correct. You haven't seen me call upon Tia's gift because I can't.
I thought maybe you were feeling a bit embarrassed about it, or just didn't want to ask too much. I guess that's
Odd.
problematic.
Can't you see?
Yes.
He's been excommunicated because he killed someone.
If I had
Yeah,
killed someone, if I had
didn't say
taken
that.
my oath, and if I was an oath breaker, such as he suggested, I would know. I would have a different sort of gift, and yet I have nothing.
Very interesting.
Isn't
Sure,
it
there's
possible
an
that
academic paper in here somewhere?
perhaps Tyr has doesn't want to deny you the blessings forever? He's looking for you to atone in some manner, and so his blessings have been removed because of whatever you have done in your past, and he's looking for you to enact some righteous deed or save a life in his name or something similar.
I mean, yeah, I like that point of view. We just need to find the solution.
If you just keep trying, you can make it work.
I would like to believe that that's perhaps the solution to my problems.
Perhaps you could start by leading prayer to Tyr. It is a first step of path of forgiveness or path of contrition.
I know how to seek forgiveness from my god. I recognize that you may not think very highly of me, considering
No, personally, I think very highly of you. It's just, obviously, Tia might not.
he looks very, very embarrassed that he was called out. It's like he's trying to skirt around the fact that he probably is, in fact, not a paladin if he does not have paladinly abilities, but will not admit to it. And he looks quite annoyed that Mercy has just tried to, or Atropos has just tried to backseat prayer him.
Well, of course, you know the tenets of your faith better than I do.
Indeed.
Have we tried looking at you medically, Quan, to see if there's any sort of injury you've sustained that's preventing your memories from returning?
I've been looked over by a healer multiple times since we've been traveling together.
I was going to suggest I could try fishing around in your soul and see if there's anything I can heal that way, but
I'm sorry, what?
sounds quite intense, doesn't it?
What do you mean, fishing around in your soul?
That might have been a phrasing thing, but I can sort of transfer people's energy between one another, so I can force a bit of my soul into another's, or another's into mine to restore.
Like, it's
I'm-
like,
I'm very
narrows
sorry,
his
Quan.
eyes. He's like, that doesn't sound like something that you should do.
It's not
I'm
Happens
not-
all the time.
healing. It's just, if one of you needed it in battle, I could, split some of my soul and force feed it to you to sort of restore some of
Okay.
your.
Is this is this a metaphor for some sort of sex thing?
Where did you get that from?
For once, I hope that he's right.
If I
What-
wanted
what-
to sleep with Quan, I'd just tell him that and we'd do it.
When you say soul, you mean the infinite energy of possibilities contained within a person's being that goes to the afterlife. You're talking about that.
Yes.
I also want to know, are we talking about that
I
That's a
don't-
good way of
And
describing it. I like that.
you're saying that
Once-
you split parts of it to give it to others, and you can do the same to other creatures with souls.
Well, yes, but I mean, it's sort of like taking a physical wound. It's just your soul recovers from it overnight. It's sort of a mutual resource, I suppose. Its vitality's tied to the body, and likewise.
Yeah, it's what's happened to me, Atropos. I got a part of Bahamut's soul in me. It's pretty normal.
It is
Just
not.
Swapping it around, sort of. I can't heal anyone by creating energy, but What I'm saying, Quan, is if there is a gap in your memory, if traditional healing isn't working, we could try that.
I appreciate the offer, Casimir, but I think tonight is not the night for that. And he looks slightly green and says, "Excuse me, I will try and pray." And he walks away and towards the temple to, yeah.
Atropos stands up, sort of immediately as well, looking like pure horror and revulsion and disgust, and just says, "You are an abomination," and just spits at Casimir's feet and walks away.
He probably looks at the spittle as it sinks into the earth and froths for a little bit. And he doesn't say anything back. He just kind of leans back on his elbows and probably looks at the sky and probably just quietly says, "I know." Retaliate. And he doesn't look particularly pleased about that either.
Good stew, Pod?
Just like gobsmacked by the whole thing. He's like, yeah, it's great stew. Yeah.
The
Structure
fellowship
some of this
stands on the
true.
edge of a knife.
You're like, kind of like pause. He's like, you think they're still friends, right?
I don't know.
Oh,
It means still none of you are my friends. He kind of lies back on his bedroll and pointedly reads.
Well,
that's not true. I'm your friend.
Mm-hmm. He seems wounded and upset and reads his
And I was like, well, that went from philosophy to hurtful quite quickly.
Maybe I will
to
join
be fair-
Malik's team after all.
So, other than Quan, who's gone to pray, anybody else? Quan, how far away do you go from the group to pay?
It's
Pay
penance
to
time.
pray.
Paying the bill.
Pay.
He's disappearing off and paying the bill behind our backs. Just because he earns more than us. It's not.
No, we're parked in an illegal space. So we need to go back to far
D&D
away
party
enough
is
to
here
have
for more than 7
some,
hours.
far enough away for some privacy, probably towards the temple.
Okay.
If not at the temple, it depends how far away. I assume we didn't walk too far, so
You didn't walk too far. Somewhere near the temple, nearby the village, you find a secluded spot between a couple of ruined buildings, fairly private. Where are you?
this is the hardest part about playing a paladin is the prayer. I can't do it, man. I'm not religious. Okay. I suppose before he says anything, he's just gonna try and reach out and feel tears, warmth, presence, anything.
Reach out with your soul, your mind, your essence, whatever you want to call it. The barrier you felt, that feeling, that energy, that presence, no response. There is that familiar warmth that you felt before that you know is Pelor somewhere. You feel that. You still feel that. It's what makes all of this so utterly confusing. And then there's the coldness. That other. The part of you that worries. You feel that too. You can't feel tear.
I suppose if he doesn't feel anything, he will probably kind of fall to his knees and I guess start speaking aloud and begging for Tyr's forgiveness.
Okay. Make a Christmas saving throw.
Okay.
Is that a
Is that
natural,
a natural one?
Oh,
The natural one.
Quan, you feel nothing at all. And something compels you to go back to the camp. I may have to quickly run to go pick up my thing, but that's fine. Yeah, something compels you to go back to the camp.
What do you mean when you say compel?
I mean,
'Cause,
you
like-
stand up, unaware of what you're doing, unable to control your body, and walk back to the central fire.
Okay. Okay. Yep.
The rest of you see Quan walk back. Casimir. Quan's eyes are green and glowing. And the rest of you see as Quan's mouth opens, falls back, and glowing orange white light pours out of it. And you see as a humanoid form about 7 foot tall, appears in front of you all.
I lean over to Pod. Does that normally happen?
You see Pod
What
just
the
like,
fuck?
wait, well, are we still? We're just sitting around eating at this point still, or are we just like kind of
Presumably
chilling?
getting ready for bed.
We're getting ready for bed. Like you'd see,
like
like Pod just kind of like he would, as
Casimir-
Swan comes back, he would kind of like ask him a question. He'd be like, "Oh, how did prayer go?" And as he doesn't get a response, and he looks a bit weird, he's like, and then as this begins to happen, you just see Pod kind of like snap his fingers, and he just disappears.
Casimir, to you, by the way, to everyone else, this is orange. To you, it's green.
I think he immediately has his little rapier in his hand and his spell book out. He just says, I'm not hallucinating this, am I, everyone?
I'm inside the temple, meditating on the weave and not seeing any of this.
Atlas?
Pod just
Lara?
vanished. Oh no, I see
No,
this.
I see it too.
Yeah, I have my great sword in my hands. Yeah,
You can't see Pod, but you do hear him say, "No, it's definitely there."
Peace.
Oh.
Peace. The figure holds out his hand and you say, peace. I have but moments. Kwan's contritions, Kwan's prayers have broken through. Kwan is not evil. You all know this to be true. The barrier, the connection between Kwan and I was broken when he took into his chest, into his very being, a cursed object. I can't get through. You all must help him expelling this object. It will bring back his memories. It will bring back everything. It dwells within his very soul, and I need it to be removed so that I can reconnect with my favorite son, with my paladin. Please. And the form.
Wait, are you Tyr or
Wits
Pale?
Tyr. He said he was Tyr.
Okay.
Whips back in to Quan. And Quan, you have no memory of how this happened, but you are standing alone. Sorry, you're just standing in the middle of the camp, exhausted.
Do I have any memory of the last several
No.
seconds?
Last thing you remember praying. I know you are surrounded by Pod, who is invisible, so you can't see him. However, everybody else has drawn weapons. Mercy's in there. You see, like, Atlas standing there, weapon out, rapier out from Casimir. All of you staring intently at you. But you do notice that you are clammy, you are cold, and you are covered in sweat.
Did I do something?
You kind of hear almost like in a slightly ethereal voice from nearby. You didn't really do anything. You kind of threw up tear.
Vomited a god. God. Do you
What was in
have-
that stew?
Did you have
Pod comes like kind of
any-
like snaps back into vision.
Do you have any skill as a surgeon by any chance? I don't know how else we're going to extract an object from Khan's chest, but
Wait, sorry. I'm clearly missing. Extract an object from my chest.
Pierre's told us
So-
that you have a cursed object inside your chest and we need to take it out.
I'm
Apparently,
almost
you've
certain-
taken or swallowed or somehow absorbed into your soul some sort of cursed object, and it's
Right.
causing you problems.
I
don't
think I would know if
Karen-
if I swallowed a cursed object or if I had one that was causing me a discomfort
If
inside
not,
my body.
hallucinated any suspect curse-related things at any point?
You all remember that
Right.
Quan has randomly passed out at various points throughout this campaign.
You're passing out, maybe? You're
Oh god, is he going to explode? Do you have a sudden hunger for magic objects?
You're not having my shoes.
Yeah, Casimir clutches his rapier a bit tighter. That's not magical, no, it's fine.
No, I can one hunger for magical items? He's looking very confused at this point.
I feel like I do, but maybe not quite literally. Anyway, that was
So you're-
his command. So
Hold on, and you see Pod kind of put his shield back on his back, and then he pulls out a little, very scuffed little notebook, and he begins kind of like flicking through it. He's like, no, that's for magic. That one does life. That one, I haven't learned much about curses yet, I'm afraid.
how about we start with checking
I could
him
do
over?
disease. I could do poison. And he kind of keeps flicking through.
You
I
check
can do
disease.
magic.
I'll check magic.
I can.
Let's check for things. And
So yeah, using his, you see his kind of like he looks up and his kind of almost his eyes begin to glow. It's like kind of fayish like color as he uses his innate Furbog magic to detect magic. Gives Quan a once over. I'm assuming that I don't see anything particularly special.
Nope.
Oh, wait, here it is. And then he finds it and he walks up and he goes, if you just hold still for just one moment. And he reaches out and puts his hand directly on your chest and tries casting Remove Curse.
ooh,
Yep, that's fine. Could you make a D20 roll for me?
ooh.
Sure. Just a flat D20.
Can we
Yep.
assist in any way?
One second.
No.
Can we?
Eric's so OP, what the fuck?
I have that was a 6.
One second. One second.
Could I use my birthday 20? No, just-
You could. Before you announce the roll,
yeah.
Ben might want to change it, but it was your birthday. This is your month. You may well use this here.
Save it. I'm gonna use my portent on it.
Okay.
What was your portent?
19.
Okay. Portents plus your spellcasting modifier?
What, my spellcasting modifier or
Yep.
what's my bloody spellcasting modifier?
I disagree with it.
I don't actually know what my spellcasting modifier is. For what exactly?
Sorry, it'll be your charisma. But sorry, just your charisma. Sorry, you're a cleric, right? It'll be your wisdom, sorry.
My wisdom is a +5.
That's 5, so 24. Okay.
Yeah.
Your whole Quan, as you cast the spell, as you feel the energy throwing through him, Pod, you are in tune with the world around you. You are in tune to this very moment. The spirits, they kind of bring themselves to you. You feel this chorus of energy pouring through you into Quan. And Quan, you feel... It's strange. It's the power of the suit of that space between life and death, the life and death, the restfulness of the grave pushing through you. It brings an immense amount of peace. And Odd, you feel and you see, almost in your mind's eye, Quan's heart beating. And pressed on the side are 2 shards. One a deep emerald green, the other the color of corn, almost that semi-gold kind of thing. You reach out to try to touch them, and as you grab both of them, you are pushed backwards as the spell shows you there is a curse there, but even at this level, you've been unable to remove it. But in Quan's heart, you see something grafted on there, something that shouldn't be there, something that to your eyes feels wrong.
2 things or just 1?
2.
2 things. So I guess he kind of gets like pushed backwards as he tries, and he's like hurts his hand a bit, and he's like, So, bad news. I didn't manage to get rid of the curse. Good news is I did see it, so it is there. You have 2 kind of things stuck directly into your heart. It's I guess slightly less than ideal. I'm sorry to be the one to be the bearer of bad news. I could try again if you would like, but might take some practice.
I wonder, maybe can we do anything to empower you, Pod? It looked like a good attempt, though.
It seems. I'm guessing, DM, this felt like it actively felt as if it was higher than my capabilities.
I would like, given you rolled a 25, I'm going to ask you to roll a wisdom check, and
Okay.
I'm going to message you afterwards, potentially.
Wisdom check would just be a +5, so I'll just roll medicine dice. I rolled a nat
Cool.
20. 25.
Hey!
Let's
Good
go.
shit.
Yeah!
Let's fucking go.
Good
That's
shit, good
25,
shit.
not 20. My wisdom check. He's feeling very wise today. As a true friend.
I'm messaging you, however you choose to interpret this.
Do you have
Hmm.
20 wisdom worth of interpretation? I believe in you.
Kind of ponders to himself.
The way you can see that is it beat alongside
Hmm.
Quan's heartbeat. It wasn't independent. It wasn't stuck on.
Hmm. He kind of opens his little book again and he flips through it as if he's like looking for kind of the notes under the curse page that he was looking at. The problem, it feels as if the curse is kind of woven into his heart. As if like part of it is you.
What does that mean?
But what?
Means it's going to
on
take
earth
more than
does
just an
that-
external force to pull it out. So I'm going to, somehow
So
you're
you're
going to need
saying
to do something.
I have these objects inside of my heart. They are also cursed, and I have no idea what they are or how they got stuck in there.
We have to remove
I
it.
suspect you might know what they are, you just don't remember.
Maybe.
And if we find out what they are, then maybe we figure out how to get rid of them. But I can't just pull them out.
No, I understand, Pod. Thank you. You are a very gifted cleric. I
Oh,
should
thank
feel
you.
lucky.
But good news, Tyr does not hate you, and you didn't kill anybody.
No, Tyr said you were his favourite son, actually.
So really,
Favoured.
this is a positive night.
Casimir remembers it was
Yep.
favoured, but he says favourite. His keen mind, of course, he remembered.
Remembered every word, every intonation.
So, Tyr appeared before you.
In all his shining
Well, I
green
guess it's kind of
glory.
more of an
Came-
avatar.
came
Avatar
out
of
of you.
Tyr.
Wait, green?
His green glory, yes.
It
Curious
was not green, it was
colour.
gold.
No, two was orangey gold.
Are you all colourblind?
No, I think you might be colorblind.
I'm absolutely not
Yeah,
colourblind. I have
saw
exceptional
green.
taste for colour, actually. Monty always said so.
Alara, you saw. What did you see?
Oh, golden brown color of being.
Right, well,
So that's 3 golds, 1 green.
that's 3 gold, 1 green.
I would say tiebreaker, but that's not how maths works. What about you, Missy?
I'm not there, am I?
No, oh yeah, of course.
No.
Break on that.
Wait, where is Mercy?
He's like
In the
Furiously meditating in the
meditating
in the
far away.
temple.
He's pissed off.
Where
Curiously
hopefully Casimir,
meditating.
furiously meditating where hopefully Casimir can't go.
Oh, yeah,
Meditating
sorry,
me out of
sorry.
existence.
Yeah,
Like-
I'm desperately trying to meditate you out of
Manifesting.
existence. Oh,
Manifesting
he
my
just doesn't
disappearance.
exist. Come on.
He doesn't exist on the full go away.
Oh,
My,
if I
my
concentrate
favorite type
hard
of
enough.
meditation, furiously.
Yeah. So furious meditation.
I will be right back.
Wouldn't that defeat the purpose of meditation if it's furious?
But I don't know, maybe
You
I
should
have
meditate harder.
a necromancer's green filter on everything, but it was definitely green.
It is curious.
Weird.
It's definitely curious.
Maybe I just see the colours of the soul differently.
Hmm. Does it? Were the colours on the heart gold and green?
Yes.
I guess Pod would relate. Yeah. No, you say that.
What did
With a 25 wisdom roll, he would probably make this connection. Hmm. There were 2 pots on the heart that I saw. I mean, I didn't exactly directly see it, but, you know, more of a strong feeling. And one was green and one was gold.
Okay.
Did I get the feeling of was it like one of them was like rejecting the attempted removal, or was it like both of them?
Both felt wrong and strange to you.
Oh.
Well,
With a natural 20, no, with a natural 20, I will
Mhm.
say that you probably can't tell which, but one of them certainly was holding on, and the other wasn't. You couldn't dislodge either, but one was resisting.
Which one?
I don't know which one.
Golden one was resisting.
He kind of like sits down cross-legged and like ponders, and like keeps checking over his book. He goes, "It felt as if the golden one was resisting, and the green one was not. But I couldn't get rid of either of them.
Well,
as if the golden one wanted to stay?
As if the golden one wanted to stay."
but did they feel like separate? I don't know, they're not entities, even though they match Tyr's 2 colours. 2 halves
I'm guessing
of Tyr.
that the curse felt like one, right? It was just I saw 2 different bits.
Yeah, part of it. It felt like a similar curse.
It didn't feel like 2 kisses. Just the one.
It's one entity somehow.
One with
split
2
into
parts.
2. One Tyr, but 2. What did you see? Shards? Was there a literal description or more of a feeling?
I guess yeah, Pod would attempt to recount exactly what he saw, which was the 2 shards. It was 2 separate shards either side, like right and left, right? One was green,
Yeah.
one was gold. One
Come
felt
on.
like it was holding on more than the other.
Does any of this ring a bell to you? The 2 coloured halves of Tyr?
DM, does it? I'm feeling a
Better have
bit
done
like
better have done your prep today.
Does it? Yeah. You remember the 2 figures when you passed out, reaching out for help. You offered your hand to the golden one.
Did I? Or did I not take either of them?
You took the golden one's hand,
Okay.
and you felt it get weaker as a result.
See. I can't really explain it. I've had a feeling. I suppose. And he kind of recounts the vision that he had in as much detail as he can remember.
Maybe we could try again, but do it together this time. I don't know, Alara, you've got your fun little inspiration thing. God, you've blessings.
yes.
I have my brain. Maybe we can put it all together and hit it again.
I could he kind of like takes a breath, he's like, I could do it probably one more time.
I have a question. What did Tyr's avatar look like?
Vaguely humanoid and sparkly.
It was a humanoid, 7-foot, golden,
Really big
fairly
guy.
translucent avatar, but there wasn't a lot of remarkable features on it.
Like the size of me, kind of big guy. Except for the fact that I'm actually quite small for my kind, whereas he looked like more like humanoid.
Elara, with your knowledge of Tyr, did that seem like?
It was, it was fairly nondescript. I mean, Tyr often appears as a one-armed figure holding scales, various visages across, but this was kind of a a formless golden blob, someone who was... It's difficult to say. If you'd have shown me at a picture, I probably wouldn't have said Tyr, but that doesn't mean it wasn't.
I see. Well, I suppose what we know is that Bran has witnessed me using or harnessing the power of Tyr. That I was in fact a paladin, and that not too long ago I returned to my home, and now I am here with 2 cursed objects, perhaps, and my god has rejected me. And he is sort of reeling from this information and puts his head into his hands.
Elara runs over and kind of hugs Quan and is like, "No, it's okay. There's a lot here. The figure said that you hadn't done anything wrong, that there was something blocking you, and that we need to help you.
I'm going to say,
It's not rejection."
he didn't reject
It's the
you at
opposite.
all.
Your god wants you. He wants you back.
Favorite son.
But surely Tyr is a god. Surely there's nothing that he's kind of muttering to himself, like he can't quite fully believe the story of what you guys saw.
Yeah, would like academic brain would there be precedent for things like cursed objects interfering with one's ability to interface
Yeah, of course.
with the divine?
Cursed objects are varying levels of power. Some are unlucky. Some just cause you physical harm. Some weigh on the very soul. You've seen blood magic can expunge people from the very weave or fate, as Mercy would know, that the ability to affect someone's connection to a god or themselves is clearly part of it. It must have been a powerful object. No, like, if this exists, but it's not unheard of.
Yeah, I think Casimir relays this to Quan in hella nerd speak with all the posit and, well, there are some theories and, it is possible that, all of that good speak, but the general message is it's quite possible that magic could interfere with a god on your to speak with. You might just have been the victim of something really quite powerful you didn't invite upon yourself. And maybe we can rid you of it, restore your connection to Tyr and your power, and maybe that can be our contribution. If you want that.
Well, of course, yeah. I'd do anything to get rid of this curse, and I mean, it's preventing me from everything.
Here's an idea. Razor has an awful lot of energy stored up from whatever she's been doing. That energy has to go somewhere. Maybe we could take advantage of it to remove whatever it is has clung itself to you, Quan.
We fail on a second attempt, maybe we should try that, but remember it's enough energy to destroy Severus. Try, poor Quan. Could eat him. It's a good line of thought. What will happen to that energy of Razor's when she's gone?
Stop it.
I'm just saying, asking the academic question.
So lucky Mercy's not there.
For future research purposes, what's most important right now is Quan. Shall we try it again?
Fucking Casimir, holy shit. So innocent. What would happen?
Oh. I
As
don't-
in try to dispel the curse again? Sorry, what
Yeah.
do you mean?
Well, I
Yeah,
mean, I think
okay.
the general is Pod can try it once more, right? And maybe we can try using some blesses and some inspirations, and I don't know. I don't think I have anything useful in my spellbook actually, but
Why?
I can cast remove curse for one more
I
time.
could like creatively detect thoughts to try and guide it around his heart. I don't know, DM, if you can count that as the health action, but
Also, I know that this is kind of retconny, but like I feel like if there was a bright light when I threw up Tia, surely that would have been visible to Mercy. Or was Mercy like?
Mercy can be making their way back. We can have that. Mercy can make their way to this event if you'd like. Yeah, Mercy. If you think you've been separate for too long, you saw the flash of light. You saw something must be
Sure.
happening, and you've made your way, and you're here now.
Yeah, I'm observant, so I guess I hear some raised voices and frustratedly kind of look over and come back to the not dinner, campfire, whatever's going on, people gathered round the embers of a fire, whatever. What was that light? Was it more of your soul necromancy?
No, not quite. It was actually something entirely different. And I guess probably begin recounting. I imagine with Casimir's help what just happened. If you were comfortable speaking.
yeah, I give him the neutral nerd's perspective with the occasional barbed comment.
Oh, the good news is he does not hate him. It's just very much we haven't quite figured out how to solve this problem yet.
Well, it's possible that Quan's the disturbance in Quan's soul is part of the symptom, or perhaps the cause of the disturbance with his futures and his presence. As I mentioned, the weave around Quan's future is very chaotic and difficult. It tangled. But I'm not sure I can offer more than what you've already attempted, sounds like, Pod.
Well, perhaps we should try again.
Once more with buffs.
More than willing to.
If that's not too much to ask, Pod.
Of course it isn't. So I guess we give remove curse another go, but what are we adding to it this time?
Wait.
So it's like Lara will give you a d6 for inspiration. You can all add your
Okay.
buffs, and you can try to beat a nat 20.
No, though nat 20
Can
was for wisdom. It was
That's
we
right,
rolled
yeah.
an 18, didn't we?
19.
Yes.
90.
The 19. Yeah, so we need to use so I reckon if we have bless or inspiration. Okay. I
can give myself bless.
Yeah, I can silvery barbs, right? If somebody tries to punch someone, I can silvery barbs it and give Pod advantage.
Mercy.
Quick, someone try and slap him.
Yeah. For no reason in particular, Atlas, hit Mercy.
No, actually, I want to be hit by Mercy. I want to see it, I want to see how it feels.
Sure. I go start walking up to Atlas, and then I take a couple of quick steps forwards and I punch Casimir in the face.
Silvery barbs.
Silvery barbs. Okay.
Yeah,
Oh, no,
Casimir's
under
like
attack.
getting ready to interrupt Mercy and distract him, and he just starts to say, "Hey, Mercy, I don't exist."
Disadvantage. Okay, it's still a 15. It's still a 15.
So wait, I've got advantage now.
That hits him. Yes.
So I'm rolling 2d20s. Both of them were shit. With Spy having advantage.
How much damage
the
is
highest
that?
was the highest was a
Can I
7.
Can I just do 1 damage, Jamie? I don't have to.
Yeah,
roll
if you
much.
if you've done more than one, I can let you reduce it down to 1. That's fine.
Yeah.
Casimir just spits out a little bit of blood, and it's like, "I miss Fazul. At least he
15
means
plus
it when he hits me."
5.
Wow.
He does it does add up to a 20, but it's just literally only adds to a 20, so it's worse than the last attempt. Maybe seems a bit more tired.
Yeah, I don't know.
So
Oh wait, no, you already have advantage. You're all good.
yeah,
You-
it was
Did
even,
you
even
roll
with
all the
advantage.
stuff?
Yeah, so
With-
I rolled
with
the
the
d6
blessed
and the
as well?
d4 separately. I rolled the 2d20s and then added my modifier, which came to a maximum total of 20.
Oh,
Because it was poor rolls of the d20s. The highest was a 7.
Oof, that's so sad.
It's right, we can try again. Every
we?
day we can try
In the
again.
morning, we can do it in the morning.
So what was the roll? Sorry.
It was a dirty 20, but that was lower than last time. For
With all the
context.
buffs,
That's with all the buffs,
Roll low.
It was a
including
really
a
bad roll.
d6.
including a d6 and a d4 from Bless.
Okay. Same image. The heart appears before you, beating. Boom, boom. Both of those grafts upon it.
When he tries to remove the curse, what do I feel?
Good question.
Consciously, a tugging. I'm tugging at your soul. It feels strange. It feels weird, and you probably resist it.
Can Quan do anything to like?
Juan, how would you react to that?
I just feel a tugging, right? Like,
But a tugging
Yeah.
at your soul. know
but
what the
what
hell
does
that
that
feels
mean,
like.
though? Like, I don't know. I mean,
Imagine
obviously he
being
has
tugged in every part of
thoughts.
your
Imagine
body.
that feels like
I don't know. What can you describe as someone tugging on your soul?
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I suppose he's like filled with thoughts of wanting to, you know, I guess get rid of this magical item and be kind of welcomed back by Tia, but other than that, I don't know if there's anything I can particularly do. Or
Could you make a? Let's make a wisdom saving throw.
Okay.
You get a 6. Just because I'm interested to see what happens. Can I do this, Jamie?
Yeah, no, you can
Roll
do it. I'm gonna
first.
say, as
Yeah.
you feel
Wow.
Quan, you feel Quan's reaction. You push Quan towards it, and Quan, inside, you feel. Actually, could everyone else mute for 2 seconds?
You mean deafen?
Deafen,
Yeah.
sorry, yeah.
Is that me or
No,
just-
not you,
I think
Okay.
I don't know.
not you.
I'll take my headset off. All right.
That's okay.
Okay.
The 6 plus your
One.
wisdom, you see for the first time. You see this. You see your as Pod is doing it. You feel that pressure that on your heart. Both of those things be true. And yet, you know that for some reason, the golden figure within you doesn't want it to stop this way, and you resist.
Okay.
Yeah,
We're
I'm
so
back.
back.
Apart from Gloob.
Club.
Hi.
What happened?
What's cooking?
Going on.
Yeah, I guess the remove curse spell just fails, huh?
Oh.
Damn.
It do
Pod,
be.
you see those figures, you try to
Like
reach out
that.
to them again, and something pulls them back out of thing. There isn't that external and internal pressure that's required.
Mm. He looks kind of like a bit despondent. He's like, maybe we need to find a healer more powerful than me.
Look,
Not to say there aren't many.
we can try it again and again and again. We have days before Razor. Morning, we can give it another whirl. It's important. Quan needs to be able to use his full capabilities in the fight. It will be a significant boost to our overall combat efficiency, not to mention it will, improve his dour mood.
Would the priest be able to help if we
Fuck the
explain
priest,
what was
we can
going
do
on?
it. Keep trying. If you fail, try again and do it better.
I will be going and
Yes.
asking the priest in the morning.
I'm just saying we should use all tools available to us, Casimir. Ignoring
agree.
someone with a connection to Tyr is silly.
Oh, sure, he can help.
That would
but
be foolish.
we shouldn't give up
But-
just because we didn't succeed tonight.
How could this have happened though?
Mercy, how much has Mercy been told about everything? About the object, about thing? Have you guys
Everything.
fully informed Mercy?
Yeah.
Yeah, Mercy. Mercy, could you make a weave roll? Wisdom.
5 check.
Yeah, I certainly will.
Please don't vibe check me, sir.
Come on, please. All night you've been doing me. 15?
15, yeah. Roll a d100. Lower the
Yeah.
better.
Come on! Stupid weave. Fucking thing. Shit at reading this weave. 63.
Okay. Like a lot of what's made, a lot of what's happened over the past couple of minutes, the fact you couldn't read Quan's Weave, well, of course you can't read Quan's Weave. Quan is multiple destinies. Powerful objects have power in this world. They have destinies of their own to shape the meaning of Lukai. And Quan having a destiny that you cannot read, you're skilled in what you do, but reading is not one of them. So it makes a lot of sense to you that there are 2 or maybe even 3, depending on Pod's description, destinies riding legitimate, unlike Casimir, who of course doesn't have legitimate destiny, residing within Quan. And of course you don't understand any of them, because that's beyond your particular skill set. Not the orders, but yours, perhaps.
Do I
It
know
is
anything?
big because there's 3 of them.
Because there's 3. Do I know anything of the type of... Like, what? Do I know anything about the type of magic that... Or magic item or thing that would cause someone to have, like, multiple destinies, like, conjoined?
I'm going to be honest, perhaps your mind goes back to Abaddon, the war, what happened there, a cursed weapon, an artifact. Whatever Quan has taken in presumably belonged or was evil, and Quan is inhibiting its destiny in some way or doing something. Perhaps it's a newfound respect you have, or perhaps it melds in your mind as the ring of truth.
Okay.
You wouldn't be able to name it directly
Hmm.
because you can't disseminate it out.
Yeah, I think Mercy kind of looks at Quan with a kind of admiration, and shares, I guess, some of it, won't they? Well, based on your what you saw, Pod, from when you used your magic, it sounds like a phenomenon where Quan's weave is knotted.
One presumes to know what that means. I'm sorry.
Oh, knotted is where usually some mortal obtains some kind of magic. It's known to happen sometimes, particularly sentient magic. Weapons are perhaps the most common, although also common are jinn, genies, sphinxes, and hags. All of these interfere with immortal destiny. And almost compresses and compounds someone's past, present, and future by interfering with the path that they were on. I don't know anything of Quan's history, really, but is it possible that he came into contact with some evil artifacts, sentient evil, and maybe in an act of paladinly devotion took it upon himself to seal it away within his own soul? Or perhaps he just was unlucky enough to interact with this. Anyway, this, I believe, is the explanation for why Quan's weave, Quan's destiny is beyond the capabilities of our skilled weavers to read. Because it is infinite. For every choice, which is are themselves infinite, an infinite choice lies within each of those.
So I didn't fuck his weave up by existing in his general vicinity.
You probably did.
Right.
I don't know how. Let's not pretend that you're anything but an affront to the weave, Casimir.
Right, yes, yeah. Of course.
But for Quan, it's possible that his affliction predated his interaction with you, Casimir. And maybe this isn't your fault.
You were already ruined before we met, Quan. Not my fault. How nice.
Good to know. Thank
But-
you, Mercy.
But maybe what might bring you comfort is that I have heard of weavers of extreme prophetic ability able to disentangle these. Learned clerics with future and magic who are able to pull apart the hold that it might have on you. Honestly, I have a newfound respect for Pod that he was able to glimpse these things. It in an incredible test of, well, vision, really.
Oh, well,
But-
he seems kind of a little bit almost like a bias. Well, I must have got a bit lucky, I think.
But, Quan, I do believe that these things are remediable. There have been cases where mortals are freed from these situations. Unlike Casimir, who has no weave, no future, and exists outside of it, so it could be worse.
And yet, Talos told me directly I was for another, almost as though there is an intention.
No, I think you misunderstood.
Maybe I did. To be honest, I should hate to think I was for anyone at all.
I was going to say, would you prefer being intended to be owned by someone, or sounds like you enjoy
Absolutely
being
not.
unbound?
The idea of a arranged marriage makes me feel physically sick. I'll follow whichever god I choose because I want to.
What's an arranged marriage?
Oh, and you're for the good of the house or social standing or for various insane reasons, you are organised to be wed to an individual. So, for example, if we decided that it was best for the Stormlands that Alara marry Merrick, we could probably argue that was arranged.
I believe, based on the conversation we had in the past week, it's the opposite of weaponized intimacy. It's weaponized in intimacy, actually. You're married to someone you don't like for the purposes of another.
You could still weaponize intimacy in that scenario, Alara, if you thought about it, in a more conniving way.
You could, but I do think that arranged marriages are antithetical.
I'm sorry,
to the very idea.
I've digressed things. I was confused, but
How about we
talking.
rest? And then we try again in the morning with the priest and free Quan from his bullshit. Or send him back into it, but with less of the curse and whatever.
Thank you. It does mean a great deal to me that you've all tried to help help me in my unique situation. I couldn't ask for more. So, on that note, I've had quite a lot to think about today, and he sort of walks over to his bedroll.
Somebody go on watch and make sure Mercy doesn't stab me at night.
I don't sleep.
Oh, great.
Sure, he won't stab you. I wouldn't worry.
I mean, I suppose they could try and fail again. Tried before to assassinate me, haven't you?
It's interesting. I punched you.
Not very hard, but you did, yes.
Ponder that. Good night.
Ominous.
Wow. Is anybody doing anything other than sleeping?
Having a little cry, probably.
Honestly.
Oh,
Sag.
Sad times. Oh, I
Sad
guess I'll go and
one.
watch since I don't need to sleep.
I think he angstily reads for a little while and then sleeps.
Very well. But that, as long as nobody has anything they wish to do in the evening, I would say that, and we won't roll for it, the night passes uneventfully. But you will have time to ponder the events of the last couple of weeks. Talos, the energy from Mateus, what happened at the chapel, what the priest said, what the vision said, what the cursed thing said, what the weave reading said. You've all got much reason to wonder about each other and suspicion and how this all ties into the greater world of Lukai and your mission, your goal. You all wake up, some of you from restless nights, maybe with a fresh perspective, maybe with questions unanswered, and all of this to the backdrop that you are trying to stop Razor, who is intent on attempting to kill a god. Whether or not she'll be successful or not is... well, you probably shouldn't let her try anyway. Mercy, I think you're the most upended. Whilst you're certain in your beliefs, there is 1,001 variables that you don't understand, and maybe the seers from before the schism, from before the war, would know. Maybe Yarisfu would know. Casimir, you saw green. There is no question why. That heart haunts you. The heart itself, Quan is a good man. Those shards felt like nothing you'd ever seen before. Quan, I can't even imagine the thoughts that rushes through Quan's head. Rejection, sadness, confusion. Atlas, what the hell have you got yourself into?
Guys are all they're all psycho.
These people.
I just need to kill Razor. Alright?
I was
Oh my god.
Why have they got so
Love
much fucking
Stella.
baggage?
Fuck Talos, kill Razor. Simple as. Fucking drama, fuck this shit. You will wake up, apart from Atlas who's already awake, on various levels of the shit is going on. And you all gather around for breakfast. without needing to extend the evening's conversation, is there anything anybody wants to talk about with a night's rest, or are you going to try your remove curse again?
I think Pod would have probably woken up quite early actually, and then gone and tried to speak to the get some information from the priest to see if he had anything useful to say.
Father Adran is probably snoring loudly.
Well, good
As
morning.
you approach.
Like really obnoxiously, he just shows up.
Clutches his heart for a second. Like, don't scare an old man like that.
Oh, sorry. Apologies. See, we had a really interesting happening yesterday, and he just kind of tells them all about it. Almost forgetting about the nature of the barrier, the door that he was worried about before. Instead, explains the situation with failing to remove the curse and discovering the curse, the nature of the curse. And does the grandfather have anything to say? Or...
Oh, that makes that makes a lot of sense. I'm saddened that I treated him thus. His connection to Tyr is broken, not forcefully severed. That is unconscionable. That must be a lot for you all to go through.
This guy.
Yeah, it is. It's probably seemingly he's taking it quite hard. I'm not gonna lie. He's I've seen him had better days. So, any ideas? Anything you might have heard of?
Well, give me some time. I don't know. Perhaps let me look through the books, and he kind of opens up a small compartment and begins rifling through. Could you make an religion check with advantage, apart from assistance?
Mm-hmm. A religion check. First roll was garbage. Second roll was exactly the same. It was 2 3s.
No.
Advantage
sorry?
doesn't help. I rolled 3
Threes.
twice.
3 twice. There's little in these books, but no matter the barrier, no matter the stone upon which a city stands, the everlasting, ever-flowing ebbs of the tide would eventually erode it down. Juan must repeat his mantras, must repeat his vows, must repeat his prayers, and surely change can come from within. If this curse, as you say, has latched onto his very soul, his very heart, it is a change from within him that it is needed as much without. And maybe with time, with diligence, with understanding, he will come to know his nature and expunge it.
This is the worst.
Now, Pod is a wise man, unlike myself. What would he have got from this particular monologue? Anything of use, or just
The
he
priest
needs
said,
to get, or he needs to get good?
The priest said in not as many words is maybe he should fucking pray harder, which is not helpful.
Great advice.
Right.
I
Pray hard.
I did figure that might have been it.
Yeah, to be clarified, I'm not going to be fucking helpful sometimes. Like,
No, that's fine.
I have all the answers.
I just want to make sure I didn't misunderstand. That was
This
was a
old
me
man is the worst. Flaming Quan telling him to pray harder.
Have you considered simply being better? Also, I'm not going to stand for someone who say that I'd win meme in the fucking middle of my D&D session.
If I'm asked if I'd lose, I'm gonna say I'd win. So,
Have you said your daily sutras? Is the question from the old man.
so we have no help, but I don't think
Still
there's
need the
anything else
12
I
and
can do
20.
beyond confer advantage through hijinks. What failed before? A 25?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a 25 the first time. The nat 20 was for a wisdom check to figure out what the hell I was doing.
I mean, Quan.
Afterwards.
Sorry, it's sorry, not Quan. Pod, you can give that advice to Quan.
I mean,
if
he
you
would do. He
remember
would
what-
pass over any information whatsoever he got. He would pass over.
So Quan, you were the priest's advice was that you should reaffirm your faith, your vows, your prayers, and slowly but surely over time erode away the barrier between you and Tyr.
So, the priest, Pod, if I'm understanding correctly from what you said, is he said I need to remake my vows.
Sounded along those lines.
Seconds, BRB.
It wasn't as helpful as I was hoping, I'm afraid.
Surely, if it was that simple. The DM has left.
Ah, we're looking at the lights. I guess Casimir would ask, "What are your vows? Were they? Do you remember?"
That's a good question, Casimir. What are my vows?
Oh, I see. I see.
What question was asked of
Quan,
Lord
what
Almighty,
were your
aka me?
vows?
Quan doesn't know what his vows were, correct?
Holy shit!
Wow.
Someone say
Slightly
human
problematic,
fighter?
I guess.
I mean, do I have any memory, or given the knowledge that Allura has given to me, like, do I have an understanding of what a paladin of Tyr would have to vow to, I suppose, put himself in the service of Tyr? I mean, I know about Tyr, but I don't remember my vows, right?
No. So, could you make a religion check for me?
Okay. +0, that's great. That's a 12.
Oh, so given you are a paladin, Ilara probably would have taught you, or you would have understood some level of what the vows would have been, and they would have mostly been to Tyr's domain. Vow of honor, vow of protection, vow of justice, vow of righteousness, vow of sacrifice. The specifics of these Ilara never worry too much about, not necessarily being other tenants, but you would certainly be aware that you would be swearing yourself to uphold ideals. It's not about specific actions. How you interpret those ideals would ultimately be up to you as a beacon or a representative of that god. But the specific wording or what you're promising to do is obviously vague by design. Would you wonder if you'd need to repeat the exact lines of the oath or just any oath? Because oaths are simple. You can make an oath to have breakfast tomorrow. But if you're swearing it to a god, there's some weight behind that.
Quan, through the through the faithful and the Tyr, you alone are the honoured one. Tyr even said so himself. I'm sure whatever oaths you decide to swear in his name, he'll accept.
Right. What should they be? What do you believe in? Because if you are his favourite son, they'll be the right ones.
How obvious is it that Quan doesn't know any oaths? Like, how much silence passes between Casimir's question and Quan saying something?
agonizingly long one.
Yeah.
I think Mercy is suspicious about that because the paladins they've come in contact with are like, yeah, can't wait to rattle off. I am the watcher on the wall. I am the shield that guards the blah blah blah. For this night and all the nights and all the nights to come. Blah blah blah. So I think they're like immediately like, paladin doesn't know their like oath. So I think Mercy, with a very kind of skeptical look on their face, says, "Quan, where did you swear your vows?"
Where?
Yeah.
Well, I don't remember. That's kind of the problem.
Really, it's like muscle memory for you paladins, right? You say them so many times. If you just started speaking in a vaguely zealotous, I don't know that word. If you just started speaking in a pious way, I'm sure it would all come out fine.
Perhaps I could try.
Right. Should we try again and you do your holy thing?
Well, guess so. Pod kind of ponders to himself a little bit, thinking, what could he possibly do to make this go better than last time? Other than, I'll roll like shit. Alright, so I guess we just give it another go. With all of the various bonuses outside of advantage from silvery paths.
This time I'll confer advantage with a Hijinki detect thoughts, help pod from a
Woo!
20 intelligence arcane ritual wizard perspective.
I got the
Necromancer's
highest
results.
I got was a 17. Then we add a d6 and a d4 to that for bless, and the
This could be good.
of which unfortunately I rolled a 1 on one of those, so it's
No.
only a 3, which gets to 20, so 25 is the total again.
No.
25 is the total.
Yeah.
Okay, Quan, you feel this internal struggle this time. You can look at my message. What do you do?
I guess your boy's gonna try and swear his oath.
You want to read that out, or are you just going to say you?
Okay. I appreciate that you have that, but I was not expecting to swear my oath today. So I just want to maybe read the small print and have a think about whether that's the thing
Okay,
I want to
you can all
commit
take
to.
a couple of. You can take a couple of minutes while you read that, and we'll talk about the Eski. So, let me know if you want any changes, because you're ultimately the one saying this, so you can make any alterations you want based on how you are right now.
Can I ask a quick?
Yes, sorry, of course.
I was just gonna say, I think in the run up to this whatever pod spell is, Mercy would have talked to Pod, and just, I guess it would have been like, can I? So when I've heard about these kind of things being done before, like fixing these kind of Quans kind of conjoined whatever is going on, what level are the clerics or whoever has done this? Like, making a comparison between the people I know who or heard of who may have done this and Pod. Like, is Pod well matched? Like, is Pod attempting magic which is far above his capability?
Pod is attempting magic that you believe probably, if like this is severing the connection between a god and entity, probably attempting beyond his reach, and that is why all of this help is needed and why it failed the other time. Despite you saw Pod poured his faith in Cannonball, the power there, much of his ability, understanding, and like Pod was exhausted afterwards. That was an incredibly strong attempt, and Pod still failed to even clasp either of these shots.
Mm, mm. So I think, yeah, like in the lead up to this, I mean, obviously Pod ultimately ignores him or tries any, but Mercy would say to Pod and be like, this is really dangerous. You're attempting something which is beyond your reach, and kind of, give a little bit more about what the nature of what Pod's attempting to do. But ultimately, he'll be like, but I will, of course, support your attempt, Pod. I just wanted you to know that I'm not sure that this will be successful, but it's noble that you're attempting it.
I did feel like it was probably beyond what I'm capable of, but I have to try, right?
It's, as I say, an incredibly amazing feat that you were able to glint and describe the shard of twin hearts, whatever you saw, in the way that you did. Interpreting that in one's mind through magic is like trying to walk a tightrope blind in a blizzard. So I'm not trying to criticize you. I just want you to know that, I mean, you were visibly tired, and this may be beyond you. That's all I'm saying. Don't exhaust yourself doing
it's only
this.
beyond you if you believe it is. Keep
No.
working at it, keep trying, and you will succeed.
Mortals have limits, and we have far to go, and a fight at the end.
The only limits are the ones we place on ourselves.
No, absolutely not true, Casimir. We have limits predetermined by destiny.
Well, Zavris can't describe or encompass my limits, so I suppose I don't have them. And if you
Casimir, you can't help but remember that you were denied something you wanted.
I don't
promise
have limits.
to another.
I do not.
No, I know. But whatever you're saying in this moment, you remembered that your limit was defined. Maybe that hurts. Maybe that emboldens your speech.
I can do whatever I want, Mercy, and Pod, so can you.
Pod.
Thank you, Casimir.
I believe in you, Pod.
I mean, we're not doing anything for the rest of the day. I can give it another go. Just roll the dice, boys.
No, we're walking.
All
So
right.
you've rolled a 25 total, and you remember
Yep.
that it requires an external and internal pressure to get rid of this. To expunge these curses, these objects, these grafted upon the very heart of Quan.
Look, originally Tyr
Quite.
told us to carve it out, so I think we get a surgical knife and just get stabbing.
Quan. Having reviewed the message I sent, is there anything different you would like to say?
I will. Yeah, I guess I'm gonna swear my own oath.
Sure.
A little bit different.
As Pod, you reach out, holding on one shoulder, feeling peace that you know comes with the sanctity that we will all be together soon. The death is not the end. It is simply another path, one that all must take. Understanding, pouring your energy of the morning into Quan. Quan, what do you say to these shards? To Tyr, who you haven't, or maybe have wronged, but to try to re-establish this connection.
So, I suppose whilst this is happening, Quan will kind of close his eyes and speak very quietly as he mutters his oath. With Tyr as my witness, I bind myself to the sacred duty of protecting the helpless, championing the cause of the downtrodden, and ensuring that the scales of justice remain true. In every action, I shall embody the virtues of courage, honor, and compassion, allowing them to guide me through the trials that await. With this oath, I bind my soul to the service of Tyr. May my actions always reflect the divine ideals of justice, honor, and devotion.
Words. Pod, if you were going to choose one of these to take into yourself,
Surely the well. Oh my god! Why are you giving me the red wire, the green wire?
Pod, inside, reaching towards one heart, you see both shards glow ever so slightly and then discharge for a single second, holding themselves suspended in whatever area of reality this is. It's clearly not Quan's chest. The heart is disembodied from the rest of it. The green shard, the gold shard, flies before you. How does Pod react to seeing them free?
So the green shard is loose,
And the gold shard is loose.
and the gold shard. Does it feel like I can reach out and grab either of them?
You feel like you have been pulling on them, and they've both you hear the words, and in this place where you are, these words reverberate. They are this space, and the space are them. Within here, this is
I guess he grabbed the green one then.
okay.
Maybe not. I don't know.
Make your final choice and talk to me.
I mean, obviously, if they feel like curses, he will attempt to dispel any sort of cursed entity if they feel like curses. If not, feel like he can grab them and pull them away from the heart. Like anything, any sort of action that will make it feel like the shards are being pulled away.
As you pull them back, grab hold of them both, pulling them away. Quan, there is... To you, it feels strange. There is a weight that has completely lifted off your back. There is a sadness. You have lost your connection to something that once would have meant a great deal. Came into what you remember proclaiming Pelor, and now you've sworn an oath to Tyr. Are they the same? Your memories still fade, you don't know. Something else has gone as well, and you feel lighter than you have done for a while. Pod, I'm going to need you to make separately. I'm going to ask you to make a charisma saving throw to not have these curses attached to you.
Roll high.
I rolled a 12.
Wait.
I'm in detect thoughts. Can I help him with this at all?
You can all make whatever checks you need to make.
Does it? Am I in like a helpful space if I'm detect thoughtsing this thing to give him advantage?
I'll say you can see these things.
Mm-hmm.
So, Mercy did not.
Portents roll this day. It's the next day.
It's the next day. Mercy did not support or think that this was really that possible. But I think they saw a lot of promise in Pod, and Pod being a resolute and promising weave reader, and I think in doing this they didn't foresee, but maybe the weave did, and I will use my 17.
Okay. 17.
There's a +3, so it'd be 30-20 then.
20. Casimir, do you want to do anything?
I don't know if there's a some silvery barbs moment here. If there's a reaction, probably not. But
Yeah, I mean, Silvery Barb, if you want to cast it,
That
will allow
confers
Pod to
advantage
roll
to Pod,
at
yeah.
advantage. Yeah.
Oh, so I got to roll again.
Yep. See if it's higher.
Okay, let's try again. This charisma saving throw.
it feels like that's one that's worth.
No, that
going
was
higher
a
than
9.
17.
So the highest is the 17. The highest is the 17,
Okay.
which means that it would be a dead 20.
Pod, if you were going to choose one of these to take into yourself,
Surely the where? Oh my god, why are you giving me the red wire, the green wire?
Which one?
I feel like I've just given you an STD, dude.
Get yourself checked.
Do I want the clap or do I want
You remember that
syphilitic
when- so-
insanity?
the like what information do you want me to remind you of in this moment?
So one of these has clearly got like a more of a holy vibe, let's just say, and the other one is more of a it's the green a necromantic feeling or
With the rolls, you don't know. You remember two things. The figure that appeared before you was gold, but when you attempted to excavate, the one that was holding on was the golden
gold.
one. The one that didn't want to be removed.
but the green one felt like it was more than happy to I'm peace
Green one was
now,
more
I'm
than
out
happy
here.
to go. Yeah.
I guess he'd grab the green one then.
Okay.
Maybe not. I don't know.
Make your final choice and talk to me.
What's going to happen to the other one? Does it feel like it's just going to the void?
You don't know.
I guess, what would the character do? Selfless. I guess he would assume that the golden one, if one had to stay, it would probably be the golden one. So therefore he would pull harder on the green one, I guess.
You're trying to release the green one more than the golden one.
If it was a 50-50.
Okay. So you allow the golden one you allow the green one to go to be released.
Yeah.
Golden one stays.
Yeah, if that's the choice.
Or at least. Okay. So. One, you can change your levels into paladin, I think, first and foremost.
Woo!
No fire anymore.
What a banger oath as well.
And could you please. I'll watch the VOD back. I'll remind myself exactly how I'm going to hold you to that.
Yeah.
However, Pod, as you reach out to the gold one,
Yeah.
rich hold of it, and you are presented. A figure stands before you. A tall, radiant figure, golden and white robes, face that of the sun shining down upon you.
Mm-hmm.
What have you done? The rest of you see Quan in this moment of swearing this oath. You vomit green, pure green energy as this tiny shard of the inside flicks out into the world of Lukai.
Anyone catch it?
And there is a moment of stillness in the world and mercy. Roll a wisdom saving throw for me.
Oh no.
Oh no. But he went for the
I
ninth
hate the-
one.
I hate the consequences of my actions.
Rarely does
Fucking
the
hate these dice.
become
This
unmoved.
game. Why this tonight? Got a 5.
Okay, how much health do you have?
31.
That's not good.
I can heal you. It's alright.
What do you mean? How much health is Mercy?
Oh,
Why
no,
would
no
you
reason.
ask that?
Let me just work out how much dice I'm rolling.
What do you mean?
that's
How
not
many
good.
dice you're rolling? Which dice are they?
sorry.
D6s or D12s?
It's a D6, but it's
Okay.
quite a lot of them.
How many?
You got 31 HP, right, Messi?
Yeah.
Messi, you take 54 points of damage from 14d6
What?
as you feel your connection to the weave, your order's very need of being the great compromise shatter before your very existence
What?
as you, despite your inability to read the weave, feel the presence of an unknown, separate, distinct, alien god enter the energy and
Oh,
plane
fuck.
of Lukai.
Okay. I guess I
And the
just
weave shatters and breaks before your eyes, and you cannot comprehend it, and you collapse on the floor. Eyes, nose, mouth bleeding. And given the time, and that we're in the office tomorrow, we'll leave it there.
Wow.
I may have made a mistake.
Quan, you've
I-
given the world an STD.
I mean,
I just gave the world an STD.
you guys are the ones that tried to heal me.
I
Oh,
feel,
we're sorry. We're sorry for helping you.
I feel that Pod made the sensible choice. It felt like the right one.
Why would one want to be free and
'Cause
the other not want to be free?
It wants to be free to give Quan power.
Wait, who left? Oh, the music right.
The
Yeah.
music.
Okay,
box
so
left.
obviously we have a lot to talk about next session, next Wednesday. But Quan is a paladin of tier. Great success.
Hooray.
Great
Yay,
success.
Great success.
Oh, sorry. On that note, unexpectedly, as you feel all of this, Quan, your memories do not return. Other than maybe we'll talk about next session.
Other than what?
I can finally make a character sheet after like months.
I only took 17 sessions for you to be the class that you said you were.
It's alright, I'll take over.
What
your
were
old
you
one.
beforehand? Were you just a fighter?
I was like a fucking wet noodle. Like I did fuck all. I had no ability.
Oh my
I'm-
god.
No, healing hands is an Azamar ability, and that's about all we got. I'm gonna roll.
Spoilers. My
You're just
my
a
dude.
guy with a sword.
He's just
To be fair, I was like-
stick.
I was quite worried that 14d6 would be a one-shot from Psychic Scream, but I don't think I can actually roll much over a 60. I think the highest I got is a 57 over like 20 rolls, so
I do have Revivify, but no diamonds. So we just find one.
you're not getting any. After the last campaign where Rasha had all the diamonds, you guys are getting one this whole campaign.
I'm not
Damn,
dead,
we're on
though.
tactician mode.
You're not dead. No.
I've just
No,
died.
you're just really unhappy. I can stabilize you, assuming that I haven't
Okay.
immediately been
I-
mind controlled by someone.
So yeah, I overlay on hands now.
Hooray!
I mean, I could use Vitality Shift, but I wouldn't want to be an abomination about it, you know?
Yeah,
True.
fair enough.
True. So yeah, so Arthas has
Well-
got a lot to come back to.
That's kind of the gods' problem, really. If they got another one in there that's not that great, well, you know what? There are plenty of bad
Who
gods.
says he's not
What's
great?
What?
To be very clear,
not
to be incredibly clear, nothing happens for any of you except for Mercy. The rest of you are like,
Yeah.
Oh right.
Quan vomited. That's weird.
Bit
A
of
lot of
green.
green came out.
Bit of green tear vomit.
But like, you
'cause
just
tear is
removed the
green.
curse, so you expect them to be like, "Ah," and get rid of everything, right? Like, that's
Yeah.
sad as.
Tear's green. I mean, Tear said to.
So,
take
so
it out,
wait, what do
so
I?
we did
Was
it.
this just a voice ringing in my head? What
Yeah.
have you done? Oh, okay, cool. Did it
I wonder if
sound like
Razor
the same
realizes.
voice as Tyr, or a different voice?
It's a different voice. It's not.
It's a different voice. Okay, cool. I'll keep that. I'll keep that.
I wonder if
information.
wonder if
for next
Razor
week.
realizes we've beaten her to her own plan by destroying the Great Compromise.
Yeah.
Ah,
Just gonna show up at Mountain's
Razor
Breath and
all this
wait.
time is like killing people, filling up with blood magic, and we just like accidentally smash the weave. Just like, oh shit, fuck.
Whoops!
Razor's just gonna be like, I'm so glad you made it. I've got a feast prepared for you guys.
You're like, hey guys,
Jesus.
good job. I never expected you.
We thought it was an arc final
We-
battle, but it's actually a party episode.
We didn't get there. Sorry, everyone on stream. I have some really cool NPC I wanted to introduce this session that has a nickname, one of my favorites. You guys will find out next time.
Woo.
We didn't
What?
quite get there.
I want to know.
Next
Okay,
time.
preview. Give us a preview.
Anticipation. If you really like the channel Extra History like I do, it was quite recently on there. It's one of the most like coldest names from history I think I've heard of. Nicknames that I'm stealing.
Oh. Okay. 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 Very good. Cool. Wow. Then
Not Blue Eyed Samurai.
we'll see.
If I have to make a wet noodle character sheet because of this, I'm gonna be
No. You're still a monk of the Order of Sapphiras.
It just doesn't
Carry out
exist.
like we just end up carrying around this.
What does that
horrible curse
mean?
just invalidates your entire character while you hold it. Like we have to like hot potato pass it around. Give it to Razor.
Yeah. Mid-fight, just give her the magical clap.
It's like it's a cursed object. It's like while you wear this, you are a level 1 peasant.
somehow sleight of hand it onto the boss.
Give it to like an ancient green dragon. Like good luck.
Guys, Fazul lost a fist fight to a level 1 peasant. That's a
No,
shame
I
for
was
him.
I was higher level than you guys. I just was a normal person.
high level merchant.
How are we
I
going to explain
know.
this to Luke?
Average Joe.
How are we
You
going
have to watch the recap. He's gonna have to watch
the recap.
Watch the VOD.
Yeah, he gets to watch the VOD.
Actually, speaking of the
Very
VODs
good.
and channels and things, thank you so much to all the guys following, commenting, and stuff. We have all the VODs on YouTube. It was very, very cool. This episode will go back up for Luke to watch, but not everyone. Yay! Thank you,
Okay.
guys. Big appreciate it.
Awesome. Well, we will finish there. I'm looking forward to playing next week. And catch y'all later. Thanks very much.
Goodbye, my
Bye.
amigos.
Bye.
Bye.